Hi everyone, I'm Miss B. Hanley, and today we are reading Backlash Part 2. Uh, okay, I need to restart that. Okay, we're backing up. Backing up. Hi Macho Man, we're backing up. I messed up the intro because I'm so tired. And I need to do it one more time. So, look at this. This is real live events happening right here. So just appreciate it. Okay, hello, everyone. I'm Miss B. Hanley, and today we are reading Backlash by Lara Littman, Part 2. Last time we read Part 1 of Backlash, where we met this girl, Lara, who had been bullied online into attempting suicide. She survives her attempt, and we learn through the other perspectives of others, I should say, and friends around her and family members about what was going on, the relationship between these people and how they're connected and maybe why this happened. And now we are going into further on time into the book. And we're actually going back. I'm sorry. We're going back into the book. We're going 2 months prior to the events of Lara's attempted suicide. We've learned some very important information. Christian, the guy who bullied her, who, made her said those words to her that made her want to die, right? He's not real. He's not even a real person. He's a made up character, a made up profile that just flirted with her and then told her the world would be a better place without her in it. So, what's going on? We don't know. We know that it could be maybe one of the people she knows, maybe somebody around her. There are 3 other narrators in this book. There are Sydney, who is Lara's younger sister, and we have Bree, who's Lara's former friend when they were in middle school. And then we have Liam, who is the younger brother of Bree. And so what we're going to do today, careful, don't get too excited. What we're going to do today is we are going to first, before we get into part 2, we're going to look at the different suspects of who could be Christian. So, I've started a blank board here, so let me get this opened up for you guys. Nope, that's the wrong thing. Great. Hi, say hello to yourself. There we go. Here we go. All right, here we go. I've got a blank Canva document that I like to use. This is one of my favorite websites to use. It's called Canva. And you just make different graphics with it. And as a teacher, it's really helpful because you can make different worksheets. And so one of the things I'm going to make is a suspects list. Wait, let's start with this question. Christian, who is this guy? Or this fake person? Who's behind? Where is this thing? Who is behind this person? Macho Man, it could be, right? We have 3 suspects here that we could choose from. I know who it is because I actually, I'm going to pretend like I haven't read this book, but I actually have read this book multiple times. So I do know who it is, but I want to come up with some different reasons why it could be any one of these people, really, because honestly, I feel like they all have their own motives. You know what I mean? Am I coming through okay? So we're going to start here with that. We're not going to take too long with this. We're just going to take a couple minutes just to go through kind of there are motives for each one of these potential suspects, or at least potential people who could have been bullying Lara online. Oh, I forgot one. I mean, they're not necessarily one of the narrators in the book, but they are characters in the book. And I think we would be remiss not to include them. So we're going to do, I think we'll just do Connors, because that's the last name of Bree and Liam. And I think that Sydney and Lara's last name is Kelly. Oh, you guys can't see this yet. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. My bad, everybody. This is what I'm looking at. This is what I'm talking about. So here we've got our thing is set up. We've got Canvas set up, and I forgot to transition my my screen. That's why nobody is commenting on it. Okay, great. Now here we are. So back to my worksheet here. Yeah, guys, let's be nice, chat. I think you're saying hi to everybody. You know who you are. Your friends are having the best time on my chat, but just let's keep it chill. Okay, guys? Okay, y'all? All right, cool. Cool. We're going to stay focused here. Stay focused on the Kellys, which are the parents of Sydney and Lara. And I'm just going to go through here and give my 2 cents. You're all my favorite. All of you are my favorite. The whole thing. All of you. Every single class period. All right, let's get really careful here, guys, about the specifics of what we're saying in this chat room right now. Okay? Please and thank you. We don't know who's in here. We don't know who's watching all the time. Okay? Wish I did, but sometimes I don't. All right. Back to this. Hello, everyone. Who is Christian? Who is this guy? People want to know what it's like being a teacher. This is what it's like. This is what it's like. Pretty much every day, except there's more sounds. It's more like, more like this. This is what you guys sound like. It's louder. I should find one that's kids. I should definitely find an ambient sound that's children to really get the full effect. Okay, so here we go. Liam could be Christian. I'm not gonna lie. He obviously is probably the sweetest person in the book, right? Like, he's the nicest one. Like, he's the one who's always kind of like asking Bree, why are you taking pictures of Lara? But I have actual reason why it could be Liam. Here's my actual reason why it could be Liam. Okay. Number one reason. Debate club. He's good in debate club. He's good at lying. He's even said it when he even said it. Let's go back to it. I'm pretty sure I highlighted it. He's in debate club and he's talking to his dad. And his dad is like, wow, son, I didn't know that you were pro death penalty. And he's like, I'm not pro death penalty, Dad. And his dad's like, what do you mean? You just argued for it up there in that competition. And he's like, I just had to argue for something that I wasn't for it, to make it more challenging. Okay. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm talking about. We read this last time. Pretty sure. Okay. Maybe I missed it. I know it. I guess I didn't highlight that. I should have. That's an unfortunate mishap there that I didn't highlight it. So the importance of annotations. Okay, this is my next video coming out, and I hope you will all watch it specifically for this moment, because this is why it's so important to annotate. And what this is, I guess, a problem that with the Kindle highlighting and annotation software, in my opinion, is that it's hard to find exactly what you're looking for. I mean, I know where it is in the book, but I'm just thinking yeah. And the color coding definitely would have helped too. The color coding would have definitely helped too if I had done that just a little bit better. Okay, well, future reference. Note for future. Color code better. Okay, but you know what I'm talking about. He says to his dad, I can debate really well. Conversation with dad is what I'm going to say. We're going to say death penalty, debate match. Everyone is my favorite student. All of my students are my favorite students. Even the students from last year. All of the students from last year, all the students from this year, all the previous students, and all of that. He does like Sydney. That's right, Macho Man. That, you know what? Honestly, that could be a reason for him to mess with Lara. I don't know. Likes Sydney. I'm putting that in here for sure. How do I spell her name? Sydney's cousin. Okay, yeah. So he likes Sydney? Question mark. I'm gonna make this a question mark because for as much of a reason as it's not to be him, I feel like it's also a reason why it could be him. Because if he likes Sydney and he knows. Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. No, we're gonna erase it. There's only one reason. There's only one reason. You're right, Macho Man. I can't come up with a good argument of why that would be a good reason for him to bully Lara, right? To that extent. So we'll just leave it there. He's good at debate. It could potentially be him, Yeah, it could be him. He could be playing the nice guy, right? And setting up another character like his sister, right? Like being the kind of manipulator behind her. Maybe. Okay. Let's move on to Sydney. Wait, no, I guess I do have to do Bree. Obviously, there's a lot of reasons why it could be Bree. There's a lot of reasons why it wouldn't be Bree, though. Two. But number one, she doesn't like Lara. Number one reason, she does not like Lara. But they used to be friends. That's another reason. Used to be friends. But here's the other thing. Here's the reasons why it's not Lara. Okay? It's why it's not Bree. Here's some reasons, actually. Actual reasons why it's not Bree. Why? Big question. Why would she do it? Why would she do that to Lara? She doesn't even like Lara anymore. Right? Like they're not even friends. She thinks that Laura's kind of like, why would I even bother with her, right? Until she tries to kill herself and then she's posting it all over Facebook or whatever. So there's a lot of reasons why it wouldn't be Bree. Okay, let's move on. But there's a lot of reasons why it would be. So Sydney, number one, jealous younger sister. And like, not in the jealousy kind of way of like, oh, she's pretty and popular, but like more like parental attention. Parental attention lacking, right? Like she's not getting the attention she wants from either of her parents. And so that's making her a little jealous of Lara, but that also gives reasons why it wouldn't be her. Because she thinks that Lara laughed at her. Really? I haven't read that part yet. Traffic cone. That's interesting. I wouldn't know. Okay, pretending. Okay, I haven't read it. I haven't read it on stream. I haven't read it in real life. Number one reason why it's not Sydney is like she does really have a genuine amount of like, why would anyone do this? This is ruining family time more. And it did mess up everything she wanted. She was her life, we're going to put in quotes because this is what she says. Life ruined. She can't audition, all that good stuff. Hey, guess what? Not everybody who's in here has read the book. Okay? Can you please? Come on, Eric. All right. The Connors. Right, exactly, Macho Man. Sydney has been suffering from the event with Lara. Okay, but the parents of Bree, right? Let's talk about mom. Bree's mom, right? Bree's mom is weird. I don't know if you're picking up the same kind of vibes in part one as I am, but like she just has this weird like way about her. The way she talked about Lara and the Kellys and like their family just put off some really, really weird vibes. Even in that first like chat, that first part when she's talking to Bree. And she does get really mad when she finds out that Bree posted on Facebook, right? Like, thank you, traffic cone. She's really like seems really upset by it, but at the same time, like, it's still weird, like the way she talks and like the way she talks about, like, okay, where's that part with Laura that she says she's like, oh, well, she's been mentally unstable, right? Okay, here we go. I know this is very unsettling, Lynn, but Lara hasn't been the most stable girl, right? Remember what a mess. Like, kind of like pointing out these like extra details that don't really need to be like discussed. Like the fact that she knows that about the daughter and she's like talking about it. It's just weird. I don't know. It's just a very weird vibe. And sort of the way that Bree talks about her mom too is also a weird vibe. I'm just gonna put that. I'm just gonna give that weird vibe. Talks about Lara and her mom in weird ways. Like weird ways that you would talk about people that you're not friends with anymore, or that you, I don't know, it's just odd for her to comment on that. Right? Because like clearly she's kind of like putting this judgment on it. She's putting a judgment call on this situation. If that's what your dog looks like in your profile picture, is cute. It's a cute dog. But I think all dogs are cute, even the ugly ones. I'm not gonna lie, like the really ugly dogs, I just think they're cute still. A lot of animals are like that for me. Like I think spiders are cute. Sometimes I think snakes are cute. You know? Okay. The dad doesn't. I don't know if we've met the dad enough, other than the conversation like with Liam and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna include him just because he does seem kind of like peripheral. He's not. He's like kind of a flat character. He's not as important to the overall plot, it seems. Let's talk about Lara's mom, though. She's a politician. Politician is a good reason why it's not her, but hear me out. Here's a good reason why being a politician, this would be a good thing if no one found out it was her. That being said, right? Like, let's say that Lara's mom orchestrated this whole thing to get sympathy for votes because she's a politician. I mean, here's the thing. I feel like, sure, it might look bad as like bad publicity. Oh, your daughter almost committed suicide. But like, I feel like there are more people in today's world who would look at that and be like, aww. Right? Like they would be like, we feel you. We have sympathy for you. Oh my gosh, how sad is her daughter? Okay, Traffic Cone, I'm so glad you said this, but it's her daughter. Why would she do that to her only daughter? Okay, I have to pull this up over here real quick because this is wild. This is absolutely wild. It is a story about this mom, this actual mom. She was to pay for the hospital. The mom had to pay for the hospital? Yeah, but I still, like, she's really, I don't want to say she's narcissistic because I don't think she's fully, like, narcissistic. She has narcissistic tendencies, meaning she's, like, really into herself, right? She's very self-centered. That, like, sometimes people who have, like, Munchausen's by proxy, which is, like, that, like, you feel like you need to take care of people, and so you make them sick in order to take care of them. Like she could have that. Like people who have that like have like a compulsion to do that, you know, like, and they like getting sympathy from other people because they're taking care of this like ill person. This is a real thing. Okay, and so I'm sorry. I know I'm really trying to push this and convince you, but like I don't know. This is legit. It could be it. It could be it. And now I have to find this article from a million years ago. I don't think it was from a million years ago, but I mean, anything's possible. Where did it go? It's not this far. Okay, but yeah, like that's the thing is that they would go, a person who does that, a person who is like that does like they are ill themselves. And so they would be taken away. Okay, this is not. I wish I had just a little bit more people here who. Here we go. who knew what I was talking about so they could find this for me. Here we go. Here we go. This is last December. Let me just skim this page. Okay. This is fine. Okay. So, yeah. Here we go. Mother facing charges after allegedly cyberbullying her own daughter. Why are you speaking Spanish, Traffic? Is that how you spell house? I don't even know. Okay, sorry, I'm getting distracted. Stop distracting me. Mother faces charges after allegedly cyberbullying her own daughter. A woman in Michigan is facing charges for allegedly sending hateful and bullying messages to teenage students, including her own daughter, under a fake name and number. I mean, can you believe? This is really, I'm having a really hard time right now, and I'm not entirely sure why. Here we go. There we go. I'm sorry. Wow. Stream is going really well tonight. All right. We're almost past my 15-minute mark, so I don't think that I need to convince you how much more it could have been Lara's mom, okay? I don't think I need to convince you that much more because I feel like at this point I've said, yeah, it's totally horrible. I can't believe it, right? Mount Pleasant, Michigan faces 5 charges, including stalking a minor and obstruction of justice, according to a criminal complaint filed against the mother. So, like, even okay, so like the shocking charges come after a year-long investigation into a complaint filed by the Beale City Public Schools after the teenage daughter and her boyfriend reported getting harassing messages. Even when we realized that it wasn't a kid, right? Like they think that the person who's bullying the kid is another kid. And we weren't expecting it to be a parent. When they informed us later in the spring that they were suspecting it was possibly her, it was a shock to all of us, I think, everybody involved. Harassing began in early 2021, and Lakari was also working as a basketball coach at her daughter's school. The 42-year-old woman allegedly used software to hide her location and used several numbers and area codes, even allegedly trying to pin the origin of the messages as coming from her daughter's classmates. In doing so, it would shield her and kind of cloak her identity or her digital identity. But eventually we were able to see that her IP address was popping in and out right before and right after these messages were going through. We had tens of thousands of text messages where they were messages that were just for her daughter or some of her daughter's friends, and the digital footprint was insane. So she was like trying to hide her like place, like her location, so they wouldn't find her, but then she because she got it from her computer, her IP address would pop up and they would be able to catch her through that. But this is allegedly, but still they say they have all these messages, these tens of thousands of text messages that were just for her daughter or for some of her daughter's friends. And basically she would like cyberbully them. Like, what? That is so like, why would you do that? I know. Like, why would you do that? It's such a 42 years old. 42. Like, you're a grown woman. And why? Like, it's just so weird. It's just a weird thing. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. I do not get it. Personally, don't get it. So, it could be a mom. Could be a mom. Oh, clouds. Leaving for the learning, coming back for the homework. Good job. Good job. Victory Royale. Woo. Okay, let's get into reading, I think. Now that we've kind of, bashed it over the head that, we pretty much all think that it's Bree. We pretty much all think that Bree is the one who made up Christian's profile and, bullied Lara to be nice. That's nice, class. Hey, that's the best game you could possibly get, right? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe you're better than that. I don't know. At least that would be a good game for me. That would be a good game for me for sure. But yeah, everyone thinks it's Bree. Bree or her mom. Yeah, absolutely. It's a possibility. Like we've just read the story about the 42-year-old woman who wants to bully children. It's a weird thing. Okay, so we're on part 2. Let's get started with part 2. Don't worry if you're watching this and you're seeing like, oh, Miss Hanley, why are you going on and on? I will put the timestamps in the description so that you can jump ahead to the part that you need to jump to. So, because I will always do that. There you go. You're welcome. Eventually, it may not happen tonight. It's going to happen at some point, though. Okay, so part 2 of Backlash. And I think I need to make myself smaller when I read because I kind of feel like maybe I cover the text sometimes. So I apologize if I do that. I'm doing my best to make sure that that doesn't happen. Okay. Great. Part 2. 2 months earlier. Liam. Ever since I can remember, we've had a Sunday afternoon family football watching ritual. We just had that recently. If Mom makes appointments to show a house during game time, Dad gets mad because he says it's supposed to be our sacred time or whatever. Mom's a bigger believer in the sacred principle of making money and paying the bills. At least that's what she says whenever they fight about it, which is often. But today, the sacred gathering around the big screen is on. Well, kind of. At least we're all in the same room, sitting around in front of the television, and with the game on, pretending that we're watching it together. Bree checks her cell phone every 5 minutes. Mom has her iPad on her lap to check work emails and browse real estate websites, but she's smart enough to look up and comment about gameplays often enough to keep Dad happy. I don't know why Dad insists on this whole family football deal. If you ask me, everyone would be a whole lot happier if he just let us do our own thing. But gathering around the TV to watch guys throw the pigskin is Dad's thing with the capital T, so we do it. The camera focuses in on the cheerleaders who are totally hot in their short shorts, crop tops, and knee-high leather boots. Oh my goodness. Don't they get cold when the game's in, like November, I ask? I mean, they're not exactly, wearing a lot. Is that so? Dad chuckles, glancing over at Mom. I can't say I noticed. My mother makes a pff sound and rolls her eyes. That reminds me, cheerleading tryouts are this week, she says to Bree. Do you want to go through your routine with me before dinner? No, Bree says right away. She couldn't be more obvious about wanting to kill that idea in a hurry. Still, I don't blame Bree. Mom's a frustrated cheerleader. She shows up at all the games with the school colors painted on her cheeks like she's trying to live out her regret that she didn't make the cheerleading squad in high school through my sister. It makes me want to crawl under the bleachers, but if I say anything, she's like, come on, don't you have any school spirit? Okay, here we go. Mom's a frustrated cheerleader. That's a reason why. That's a reason why it could be Bree's mom. Just saying. She's she's a woman, but she's trying to connect with the kids. Just saying. Why not, Bree? Mom persists. I just don't, okay? Bree, can't this wait until halftime? Dad says. I can't tell if he's really upset that we can't hear the commentator or if he's trying to shut them down before this turns into World War III, like so many conversations between Bree and Mom do these days. Yeah, it totally can, Bree says, giving Mom a pointed look. I'm going to make some popcorn. Don't forget the butter, I remind her. Not too much, Mom says. It's already butter flavored. But that's fake butter, I complain. Real butter tastes better. Bree makes a disgusted noise and escapes to the kitchen to avoid the butter war. Dad says, can we go for 5 minutes without arguing about something so I can actually watch the game? Timer starting now. He looks at his watch. I turn my attention back to the game. Dad must be feeling lucky today. I'm pretty sure the longest we've ever gone without an argument is 3 minutes, 10 seconds. Lara. Okay, so remember that this is before she has attempted suicide. Lara, if the mayor's speech goes on much longer, I'm going to fall asleep on the stage. And seeing as how there are photographers from local papers and online news sites here, that will not go down well with Mom. Or His Honor Mayor Robinson. But seriously, how many of these political speeches can one teenager be expected to stay awake for at a single event? So far, we're at 8 and counting. Any more have got to count as cruel and unusual punishment. It would be one thing if they actually said something interesting, but every single speech consists of the politician thanking all the other politicians and the people gathered to listen before wrapping up within 5 minutes or more of bland generalizations about how proud they are to serve and democracy is great and blah, blah, blah. God bless our town and the United States of America. Because we're in front row, I can't even check Facebook or Instagram or even send a hashtag I'm bored selfies to my friends. I have to try to stay awake and look attentive like the perfect politician's daughter. Sid, who is on the other side of Dad, looks like she's struggling too. We exchange a glance of mutual misery. I hope none of the photographers catch it. If they do, we're going to be the ones to catch it from Mom. When the thing is finally over, Mom makes us go over and say hi to the mayor. I can't believe how much you've grown, he says. Two beautiful young ladies you've got there, Kathy. Mom gives him her high wattage smile. I know, smart too. Just like their mother, the mayor says. Gross, political flirting, and in front of Dad, too. One of the photographers asks if he can take a picture of us with the mayor. So we pose with him, the perfect Kelly family, hashtag LOL. Can I take a picture with you? I ask Mayor Robinson. I figure if I have to sit through hours of political speeches, then I should at least have something to show for it. Mom shoots me a disapproving look, but the mayor laughs. Sure, he says. If world leaders can do these cell phone selfies, then I reckon it's okay for Mayor Robinson of Lake Hills. I stand next to him and take a picture of us with my phone. Then I check it. I realize Sid has photobombed it, and there's half of her face with a cheesy grin and on one of her hands giving a thumbs up. But I can't yell at her because we're being a perfect family, and perfect siblings don't argue with each other. Especially not in front of the mayor and the assembled press, who have just snapped pictures of him, of me, and me taking a selfie. Thanks, Mayor Robinson, I say. My pleasure, he tells me, smiling. We're all smiling around here. My face hurts from having to smile so much. While Mom drags Dad around for more political chit-chat, Sid and I retreat to a corner and check our phones. I post my pic on Instagram and Facebook with the hashtag chillin' with Mayor Robinson, and I count the minutes until we can go home. Okay, clouds. Okay, I get what you're saying. That's too bad. Maybe she'll watch the replay. Bree. Wow, she's turned into such a show-off, I say, when I see Laura's hashtag chillin' with Mayor Robinson picture on Instagram. Who? Mom asks. Lara, I tell her, handing her my phone. She reaches for her glasses, but she can't find them. I don't tell her they're on top of her head because it's kind of funny watching her look for them when they're right there. What does it say? She asks. Chilling with Mayor Robinson, I say, disgusted. Is that Sydney in the background? Mom asks. I look closer. Yeah, looks like she photobombed it. Let me see, Liam says. He studies it intently. I wonder if Sid posted anything, Liam says, pulling out his phone to check. Obvious. Hand it over here, Dad says, dragging his attention away from the game. I want to see what all the fuss is about. Why does she always have to brag about hanging out with the mayor? I say. She's always posting pictures of them at the grand opening of some new restaurant or whatever. Okay. I do get what you're talking about now. Bree's jealousy is clear, right? Like, why does she always? Like, this is one time that she posted this, Like, why does she always? What do you mean? Like, this is one post. Yeah, it sounds like someone's a little jealous. It's part of being a political family, Dad says. I bet you anything Pete Kelly would rather be hanging out watching the game than listening to speeches. Maybe, Mom says, but Kathy's gotten pretty full of herself since she got elected to city council. She seems the same to me, Liam says. That's because you don't have to deal with her in business, Mom says. I've been lobbying her about the tax breaks that would benefit my clients since I worked my butt off to help get that woman elected. Now that she's in office, does she help me, her friend and constituent? All I get are excuses about balancing developer interests with environmental concerns. Dad and Liam aren't close enough to hear her when she mutters, "The two-faced." Her voice fades away before I can hear the end of that sentence. But it shocks me to hear her say something so horrid about Lara's mom. Still, at least she stopped nagging me about showing her my cheerleading routine. I forward the picture to Marcy and Jenny. Hashtag, who you chillin' with? Hashtag, not the mayor. Jenny sends us back a selfie of her and her dog. Hashtag, chillin' with Bailey. Marcy sends a picture of herself with a mannequin at Victoria's Secret. Hashtag, chillin' with the pink dummy. Making a joke out of it makes me feel better. Like, I don't have to be jealous of Lara anymore. Okay, there it is. She's jealous. Why? Why is she jealous? Why? What is the reason of this? She doesn't want to be her friend. She doesn't want to be her friend. They broke off their friendship because she was complaining all the time. Also, I love how she tries to literally try to get her friends to bash on Lara, but they end up sending her back like I'm chilling with my dog. I'm chilling at the underwear store, like like they almost play along with like the hashtag. It's like a trending hashtag for Lara that Lara created, I don't know, it's weird. That's why she'd be like, yeah, I mean, that is definitely a big reason for it to be Bree. Absolutely. I mean, but I still don't get why she's jealous. Like, what's wrong with Bree? Like, is she okay? Like, she seems to have some self-esteem issues herself. If she's jealous of Lara, right? Lara, who was complaining about her life all the time. Like, I don't know, right? She kept saying, like, I was like, oh, I don't want to be friends with her because she's a depressed, sad person, And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, now I'm jealous of her? What's going on here? All right, Liam. When Bree tells Mom she's thinking of skipping cheerleading tryouts at dinner Tuesday night, you'd think Bree announced she killed someone by the way Mom reacts. What do you mean you don't want to try out for cheerleading? Mom sounds like her head is about to explode. She's been sending Bree to cheerleading camp since she was practically old enough to walk. When Bree was on JV last year, Mom was at every game taking pictures and video. I was just thinking, maybe I want to try something else, Bree says. But now she sounds a little less sure. Like, dance team. When you have the chance to make varsity cheerleading? Mom nearly shouts. Why would you do that? Bree looks to me for support, but I'm not about to stick my neck into this fight. Mom's like one of those crazy stage moms, except it's about cheerleading. And it's not like she's even made the squad herself. I'm bored of cheerleading, Bree whines. I've been doing it forever. You want to give up because you're bored? Mom says. You're never going to get anywhere in life if you drop things the minute you get bored, Brianna. Whoa. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Liam's right. Mom's like one of those crazy stage moms. I have to say there's this really cool book that I read a while ago, and it's by this author called Megan Abbott, who's kind of like this suspense thriller writer, but for like YA. And she wrote a book called You Will Know Me, I think. And it's about cheerleading, and it's about kind of like crazy like coaches or crazy moms who are like in the cheerleading world, and it's kind of like this weird, like it's kind of got this like scary vibe, like there's like a murder involved and it's like scary and like weird, but it's a really good book. You should definitely read it. I'll put the link in the description. But this line here where Liam's talking about this kind of like, I don't know, like cheerleading moms and like dance moms, like he's not wrong. Like those moms, like they can be really overbearing, and like she's even kind of like giving more emphasis to that, right? With this line right here. You want to give up because you're bored. Like Bree has a point. Like she's been doing it forever. She doesn't seem to particularly like it. It's not like a passion for her. It's a passion for her mom. So like she wants to do something that seems to be a passion for her that she's going to like, So this does seem to like be kind of that overbearing mom situation. Uh-oh, here we go. We're in for another lecture about how we have to have it so easy, and we need to get some grit. Otherwise, we're not going to succeed at college, jobs, life, you name it. We might as well just give up and die because we're so freaking soft and lazy. Okay, maybe she doesn't go that far, but the whole time Mom's on one of these rants, you start feeling worse and worse about yourself. You just wait for it to be over so you can escape to your room, put on headphones, and listen to music that lifts you up again. Except now I'm stuck at the dinner table and Dad's working late tonight, so he's not here to cut Mom off, which he does when she starts getting out of hand. So thanks to Bree, I have to listen to the full-length tirade. Even the fact that this is coming, I'm sorry, I keep stopping, but this is just because it's so true. Even the fact that Liam has said this about her, and it's not even Bree. Like, Bree isn't saying this is not her perspective, right? This is Liam's perspective. So the fact that this is from his perspective and he's not the one who is under the spotlight in the way that Bree is, like, that just shows you how kind of crazy she is. Bree stares at her plate, picking at her food with her fork. Colleges and employers don't take kindly to quitters, Bree, Mom continues. I want you to think about that before you make an irrational decision. If Dad were here, I could ask him if people really look at what you did after school in high school when you apply for a job. He's okay with those kinds of questions, but Mom takes it badly when you dispute her truth very badly. So don't. But I kind of wish that Bree would. I mean, this is her life, her fight. If she really wants to try out for dance team, then why doesn't she speak up instead of letting Mom lecture her out of it? Whatever. I eat as fast as I can and ask to be excused, leaving Bree to fight her own battles. Or not. This is also telling, right? The fact that Liam is saying, like, stand up for yourself. Tell your mom what you want to do. Like, don't let her lecture you, because that's all she's doing right now is she's just lecturing you and making you feel bad. I do think that Bree has this really close relationship with her mom in the sense that, like, she feels dependent and, like, waiting for her approval and stuff. And so it's like allowing her to not want to break away from her mom's decision, because honestly, do you really care? Right? I don't know how much Bree cares about colleges and employers right now. Do you really care? I don't know. I just feel like she really, like Liam said, if you really want to try out for dance team, go for it. Lara, I'm so nervous the morning of cheerleading tryouts. I can barely eat. Are you sure this is a good idea if it's making you so stressed you're losing your appetite? Mom asks. I'm fine, I snap at her, and I shove a few more spoonfuls of cereal. I'm not really hungry for into my mouth just to prove it to her. Sid slams her cereal bowl down on the table. What's the matter? Mom asks. Nothing, Sid says. She pours her cereal and milk and starts eating with quiet determination, ignoring Mom and me. My sister is such a drama queen, but at least Mom's annoyed at her now, so I managed to finish breakfast and get out of the door to catch the bus without her giving me any more grief about trying out for cheerleading. Okay, so this first instance is really interesting because remember, this is Lara before she's attempted suicide. So clearly this is her and her better time, right? She's in high school now. Maybe she's lost some weight because her mom has pushed her to go to, nutritionists and stuff like that. And she's joining the cheerleading squad and she's nervous about it. And this is like, she really does want this, right? Whereas Bree doesn't really want this. Lara does. Lara's like, okay, I really want to try out for this. I want to find my place. I want to find a group of girls who are going to support me and lift me up, right? Like the whole point of why you join a team sport. And her mom kind of says this thing. It's like, can we just point out that Lara's mom in particular has done this 2 times where she says something. It's just like, why are you saying this? Like this is the wrong time to say something. Are you sure it's a good idea if it's making you so stressed you're losing your appetite? You literally took her to a nutritionist so that she would lose weight. And now you're talking about her appetite again. Like this is not appropriate conversation to like get into. Like I feel like you already know that she has problems with like her eating habits and like her self-esteem and her weight and stuff. Like why are we bringing this up again? It just seems, I don't know. Like like Sarah Dara Littman is definitely getting her point across with the moms here. The moms are very, in a way, they're doing a lot of toxic mom things. Like, I'm doing this because I love you. But you're also like hurting, right? Like this is a harmful way to go about things. Okay. Okay. Bree is waiting at the bus stop when I get there. Uh-oh. She nods hello as I walk up. There was a time when she would have started talking nonstop the minute we saw each other, even though we'd been texting and chatting for hours the night before. But that was before we got into high school, and she decided I wasn't worth being friends with anymore. She started hanging out with Marcy Liptak and Jenny Cole, two cool girls who had gone to the other middle school. Bree made it very clear I wasn't invited when they went to the mall or movies. That wasn't the best time of my life, but I've moved on too. That's good, right? This is positive. This is a positive thing that Laura is doing. Hey, I say, you going to cheerleading tryouts after school? Bree looks surprised that I'd ask. I guess it's kind of a dumb question because she was on JV cheerleading last year and she's been doing cheerleading practically since she could walk. Yeah, she sighs. Me too, I tell her. Her look of surprise turns to shock. You're trying out for cheerleading? Why? Why not? I say. I've always wanted to do it. I just wasn't in good enough, shape to do it before. What I mean is that Lardosaurus would never have been allowed on the cheerleading team. But I'm not her anymore. I've changed. I want to come back to this. I just want to come back to this. Okay. But it's not like you know any moves or anything. That's not true. You taught me, remember? Bree shrugs because it's true. Back when we were friends, the minute she'd get home from cheerleading camp, we'd get together and she'd show me what she learned that day. I begged my parents not to send me to the same camp, but they wouldn't. They thought I should be more well-rounded, but I think the real reason was because Mom was afraid I was too rounded. Well, good luck, she says as the bus pulls up. She doesn't sound like she means it. You too, I tell her, but it's to her back because she's already getting on the bus. She goes to sit in the back with someone else, making clear that our mutual cheerleading tryout isn't something to rebond over. Whatever, I tried. I guess you can't repair some friendships no matter what. This does paint Lara like in a different light, right? Like obviously she's grown, she's moved on, she's changed, she's kind of moved on from her depressive, self-hating, self-loathing phase. She feels better about herself. And that, like that is something that happens. Like when you go through life, like you can go through a period where you like don't feel you're not connected to yourself, you don't love yourself in the way that you feel you really should. And so you kind of get disconnected from yourself and it does come across like you are depressed, and it can come across to other people. Like people may not want to be around you because of that. Right. But it doesn't mean that you can't change, that you can't start to accept yourself and love yourself for who you are. Because I was saying this earlier today, if you were there, you're the only person who can be you. Nobody else. Nobody else can do that. You're the only person who can do that. So, there's something to be said. Okay, let's keep going. More philosophical lessons to come. Hey, if you're not going to eat your potato chips, can I have some? Jaleesa asks me at lunch. Me too, Luis, her twin brother, says. What's with you anyway? You bugging or something? I hand him the bag of potato chips. Share them with Jaleesa, and yeah, I'm bugging about cheerleading tryouts. Oh yeah, they're today, right? Jaleesa says. Yep, I'm so scared I'm going to mess up, I tell them. Luis observes me intently as he crunches on a mouthful of potato chips. What? I ask. I just don't see it. Why are you trying out for cheerleading? He asks. You don't seem the type. Is he saying I'm too fat to be a cheerleader? Girl, no. No, he's not saying that. Like, that's not what he means at all. That's not what he means. No. Just means that, like, you don't seem like a cheerleader. That's it. There's nothing to do about your weight. Poor girl. She's still insecure. That's the first thought that goes through my head. I cross my arms defensively over my belly to hide it from its view. Oh, I feel this so bad. It's like, oh my God. I'm so sorry, Lara. I mean, going from yearbook to debate club to trying out for varsity cheerleading, he continues. That's different. Duh. That's what he means. Shut up, Luis, Julissa says. Lara can do whatever she wants. I'm not saying she can't, he says, keeping his brown eyes trained on me. I'm just curious. Why? Luis and Julissa also went to the other middle school in town. They don't know the sad, painful history of Lardosaurus, and the last thing I feel like doing is going on an archaeological dig, so they do. I don't want to explain that. For me, getting on the cheerleading team would mean that Lardo was well and truly gone and that all the hard work I did to get in shape was worth it. It's something I've wanted to do for a long time, I tell him, and I guess I figured now or never. Good for you, Lara, Julissa says. Go for it. You'll be awesome. Yeah, I'm sure you will be, Luis says, even though I'm pretty sure he still doesn't get why I'm doing it. Good luck. When the bell finally rings and it's time for tryouts, I go down to the locker rooms to change into my shorts and t-shirt. Even though I've lost weight, I still get really self-conscious changing in public, worrying that everyone is still looking at me and thinking, Lardosaurus. Are you new? The girl next to me asks. I don't remember you on JV last year. I was here at Lake Hills, but I wasn't on JV, I tell her. Oh, she says, what made you decide to try out this year? I've always wanted to, I confess. And I finally got up the courage. Well, except that I'm so nervous now, I'm not sure about the courage part. I'm sure you'll do great, she says. My name's Ashley, by the way. I'm Lara, I tell her as I bend to tie the laces on my sneakers. Well, good luck. She heads off to the gym with a bounce in her step, looking way more confident than I feel. I walk over to the sinks and take a final look in the mirror, making sure my hair is neatly tied up so it won't get in my face when I do tumbles. Bree completely ignores me when I walk into the gym. Whatever. I'm here to try out for the Lake Hills High varsity team, and I'm not about to let Bree Connors psych me out. I just hope I make it. I do feel really sad for Laura. I think that being insecure about yourself is something that we often feel. We can often feel. And it's hard to deal with that, you know? Like even when you do the thing that's going to fix whatever insecurity you have, like you can still feel insecure about it. And it's not just about like weight either. It can be anything. Like it can literally be anything. Like everyone has insecurities. Everyone deals with that stuff. Like when you look at someone and you think, "Oh, they're beautiful. They're perfect. They have nothing wrong with them." They have 10 million things in their brain that they're worried about constantly. Like whatever it is, like my wrists are too skinny, my jaw isn't straight, my face isn't symmetrical, right? Like like there are so many things that people can just like have insecurities about, and you can look at someone and think, "Oh, they're so confident and beautiful and pretty," but like they have a whole bunch of insecurities in the same way that you do, you know? Okay. Bree, don't forget to text me, Mom says for what must be the 20th time since she left the house. Oh my God, Mom, I will, I snap, slamming the car door on whatever else she was about to say because I'm so sick of her nagging me. She cares more about me making the varsity cheerleading team than I do. Because Mom didn't make it as a cheerleader in high school, it's super important to her that I do. Ever since I can remember, she's told the story of the mean girls and the evil coach who came between her and her dream of wearing a short skirt and waving pom-poms. It was her favorite fairy tale, but without the usual happily ever after ending. But it toughened me up, was how the story ended instead. It gave me that grit that made me the successful real estate broker I am today. Still, when I made JV last year, you'd have thought I'd gotten into Harvard. She was so excited. She took me out shopping in the mall and then for frozen yogurt to celebrate. I began to wonder if she'd be half as excited if I actually got into Harvard. Not that there's the slightest chance that will ever happen. The whole reason she drove me today instead of making me take the bus is because Mr. Carlucci might post the list before school, and she wanted to make sure I got in early enough to check. Personally, I could have waited until lunch, but I'll take any excuse not to have to ride the bus. Marcy and Jenny are hanging out on the wall near the front door, playing Fashion Firing Squad before the bell rings. Hey, I say, settling my butt on the cool concrete next to Marcy. What's up? Awesome day, right? Marcy says. Well, it would be if I didn't have to look at Maribel Estega's muffin top explosion. Ugh. Seriously, Jenny groans. Doesn't she look in the mirror before she leaves school? I wonder what they said about my outfit before I walked into earshot, or if being their friend gives me a pass from judgment. The thing is, even if Marcy and Jenny aren't judging me, I know there's always someone at our school who will. We're going to highlight that line. That is something. You'll walk into the wild jungle of judgment every time you open the door to the student center. Check out Tim Daniels. He's expecting a flood, Marcy says. I guess he's been wearing the same pair of jeans since 6th grade. And that shirt, did he get that at Nerd Karambi? Marcy laughs at Jenny's lame joke. They both look at me because I'm not laughing. They expect me to say something, to agree, to make fun of him too. This is out of character. The thing is, even though he wears the same pair of high waters every day and he's kind of strange, Tim's okay. Last year, when I was struggling with algebra, he helped me with my homework in study hall a bunch of times. Still, if it's a choice between Tim Daniels and me, guess who's getting thrown under the bus? I giggle, but it's a couple seconds too late. What's with you this morning, Bree? Marcy asks. Oh, I'm just nervous because the lists go up for cheerleading today, I tell her, even though that's not what's really the matter. I wonder, is there anyone I can tell that sometimes I want to crawl out of my own skin and be a different person than who I am? Be someone other than the Brianna my mother wants me to be. Oh my gosh, when? Jenny squeals. I'm sure you'll make it. Not sure, I mumble. Maybe before school? Maybe during the day? Maybe not until after school. Why aren't you there checking it now? Marcy asks. I don't have a good answer, so I pick up my book bag and stand up. I guess I better go and look before the bell rings. Good luck, Jenny calls after me. I'm not sure if I want it, because I secretly have hope I don't make it. Even though it would suck if I didn't, because it would just give mom another reason to think I'm not good enough. What I really want is to make it and then tell mom I'm not going to do it. That I'm going to try out for the dance team no matter what she says. If I could actually get up the courage to do it, I can see from down the hall that there's nothing posted on the cheerleading trophy cabinet yet, so I turn around to head to my first period class. Lara Kelly is coming down the hallway, obviously going to check if the lists are up. I could tell her that they aren't yet, but I don't. I just nod at her general direction and keep walking. I can't believe we were best friends once, running back and forth between each other's houses like there were no doors to stop us, and sharing secrets up in the tree fort. I'd been so excited when mom sold the Kellys that house and told me that a girl my age was going to live there. Dad always used to look over at the big oak tree in our backyard when we had cookouts and say how it would be great for a tree fort. Mom would laugh and say she'd never trust us in a structure that Dad built up in a tree. It was different somehow when Laura's dad said the same thing. Dad said, "That's what I've always said," and Mom suddenly changed her mind. Our dads worked together on that tree fort for months, and all these years later, it's still standing. This is what we've heard before from Liam, so it's interesting that we're hearing it again from Bree. That's more than you can say for our friendship. Everything is different now. Awkward. Ever since 7th grade, when Laura got all crazy and depressed, and I had to spend night after night listening to her go on about her awful life, high school gave me a chance to break free. Now, she's lost all this weight and tried out for cheerleading. Why is she trying to force her way back into my life? Shut up, Bree. No, she's not. I've made other friends now. Like, I'm happy for her that she's managed to get her whole act together and all that, but I've moved on. Can't she get a life of her own? Mom texts during second period asking if the list posted yet. No, stop. I'll text you. Slanty face. Is that what you say? Is that what you call it? You call it a slanty face? Okay. Hi, Connor. No spoilers. We're not there yet. I press send. Shouldn't she be busy selling houses or doing her volunteer work with Habitat for Humanity or whatever? She should know better than to text me during the school day anyway. I'm trying to pay attention while Mrs. Blackstock reads from Julius Caesar. A friend should bear his friend's infirmities, but Brutus makes mine greater than they are. She tells us that means Caesar thinks friends are supposed to put up with their friends' faults, but that Brutus exaggerates all of Caesar's. It makes me wonder if that's how Lara feels about me. It's not that I didn't feel bad pulling away from her when we got to high school, but seriously, I'm not exaggerating that she walks like I'm sorry. But seriously, I'm not exaggerating what she was like in middle school. The girl was totally cray-cray. How long do you put up with someone's faults before you get sick of it and give up? I totally get why Brutus stuck it to Caesar. If you ask me, Brutus got a raw deal. Okay. Yeah, definitely Macho Man. This is so interesting because I'm going a little bit advanced here because here we are. This is technically, I'm reading this in 7th grade with 7th grade students, but this would be great in high school as well because high schoolers do read some Shakespeare. And if you get into the upper levels of English, you might read Julius Caesar. And Julius Caesar, you might even know about it already, is about a king who's like really great. He's king of Rome. And he has his friend Brutus, and Brutus basically convinces all of his friends, right? Because Brutus is his best friend, and Brutus convinces all of Caesar's friends to basically kill him so that they can take over the crown. They can take over to rule Rome. Um, and so it's so interesting, right? Okay, we have so many people who are thinking, oh, it's Bree, it's Bree. And this is totally a piece of evidence to showcase that, right? Like, I totally get why Brutus stuck it to Caesar, like, stabbed him, right? Brutus was like Caesar's killing blow. If you ask me, Brutus got a raw deal. And I think after, like, Brutus gets into trouble for, like, making up the whole thing and making everybody kill Caesar because they realize how bad he was. Big foreshadowing here, right? Like, this is a huge clue to this book. The way that Bree is thinking in English class, right? In this moment, this is before Christian is even invented, right? Before Lara meets him and Lara attempts suicide for what he says, right? She's coming up this connection to the famous betrayer, right? Okay, Botcherman, I know I'm getting I'm getting really high up there, so I understand if you have to go. But, like, I hope you enjoy your night. And I won't talk too much about this because I don't have a lot of time to do that. So let's keep going. Let me pause here to shut my door. Oh no. No, Echo. I'm not getting up. I was just closing the door. Okay. All right. See you later. The play should have been named for him. I checked to see if the list is up again during lunch. It's not. I send Mom a text telling her that so she doesn't text me during class again. What's the matter with Coach Carlucci? This is her job, Mom texts back. Maybe I'll call her. No, don't, I text back. Oh, my mother isn't just a tiger mom. She's a freaking great white shark mom. She could have her own week on Discovery Channel. By the time the end of school bell rings, Mom texts me 3 more times, even though I told her I'd text her as soon as I knew anything. You'd think it was her who was waiting to hear if she was going to make the cheerleading, not me. When I walk down to the trophy cabinet, there's already a bunch of girls hanging around the list. Lara is one of them, and I hear her let out a shriek as I approach the group. I'm not sure if it's of disappointment or excitement, but then she turns around and starts jumping up and down. It makes my stomach clench tighter as I draw closer to read the names. They're in alphabetical order, and there's no Connors. It skips from Chapman to Dresner. I read it twice just to make sure. There is Kelly, Laura, but no Connors, Brianna. I can't believe it. Am I being punked? Lara made the squad and I didn't? This is just so wrong. Lara is talking to Ashley Trapasso, a junior on the team, and she's all giggly and happy. As if she senses my gaze, Lara looks in my direction and laughs. Seriously? After all the time I spent listening to her whine about how much her life sucked, she has the nerve to laugh at me when I get cut from cheerleading. I turn on my heel and head out of there. I feel my phone buzzing. Probably another text from the great white shark. I ignore it. I can barely handle myself right now. The one thing I do know is that someday, somehow, I'm going to make Lara pay for laughing at me when my life sucks after all those times I listened to her whine when hers did. OMG. Okay, so right? So this is weird though, because Bree doesn't even want to be on the cheerleading squad. She was even saying this earlier. She didn't even want to do this. And now she's like mad that she didn't make it. Like she was saying earlier, she was like hoping she didn't make it so she could go for the dance team. Like she definitely had a path that was positive out of this, right? But now she's like gonna like latch onto this thing with Lara and be like, she's laughing at me. Like, girl, no, she just made this cheerleading squad. Like, obviously, like you literally talked to her and she was so excited about it. Like, just come on. Like, I don't know. It's just something is bad, right? The things that are going on with Bree and her mom, the way her mom the way we're characterizing her mom, the great white shark mom, right? Like the things that are happening with them is like really bad. Like the things that her mom is doing is affecting her and affecting her mental state. Like the fact that she's jealous, even jealous of Lara and this situation, I think is coming from her mom personally. I feel like that those two things, there's a relationship between those two things and they are very connected. Oh, man. I mean, and then she's like, someday, somehow I'm going to make Lara pay. Like, what? Okay, let's keep going. When I get home, I fling myself onto my bed and blast music and decide to repaint my nails. I can't believe I didn't make the team. Even if deep down there's a part of me that's relieved because now I have an excuse for not doing cheerleading. But I just can't believe Lardo made the team over me. Something has to be seriously wrong with the universe for that to happen. My phone is buzzing constantly. Mom's probably flipping out, wanting to know if I made the team. But I'm not up for the sigh, the rant, the way she'll make this all about her, because this isn't about her. It's about me and Lara and her laughing at me for getting cut. This is about me figuring out how to get my revenge for that somehow. The question is, how? Bree, my brother shouts from downstairs. Pick up the freaking phone. Mom wants to talk to you. I guess I can't avoid talking to the great white shark mom any longer. Time to be reminded of what a disappointment I am. Always such fun. Yeah, I say when I pick up the phone. Brianna, your father and I don't pay for you to have a cell phone so you can play stupid apps. We pay for it so you can communicate with you when we need to. That means you pick up the phone when we call and answer our texts when we text. Do you understand? Yes, Mom. So, what happened? Have you been avoiding me? I take a deep breath and exhale the answer into the phone. Because I didn't make it. What do you mean you didn't make it? I mean, I'm not a varsity cheerleader. I got cut. That can't happen, Mom shouts into my ear. I paid for all those camps. You were on junior varsity. You can't get cut. Apparently, I can, Mom, I point out. My name wasn't on the list. Did you go to Coach Carlucci and ask her why? Mom asks. No, I say. Why not? Mom asks. She's sounding increasingly irritated, and I can tell that she's winding up for a lecture. I didn't feel like it, okay? I just wanted to come home. You didn't feel like it, Mom repeats in a scathing tone. You have to start advocating for yourself, Brianna. You never get anywhere in life if you stay a doormat. Wow, thanks for the pep talk, Mom, I say, feeling a lump rise in my throat. You always know just what to say to make me feel better. And I hang up on her. Picking up the nail polish and turning my music back up to loud, I finish painting my nails bright red and start adding glitter stripes. Hey, can you turn that down or use headphones? Liam says, sticking his head into my room. I'm trying to do homework. Can you do it? I don't want to ruin my nails. Oh, can you do it? I don't want to ruin my nails. My brother rolls his eyes and grunts, but stomps into my room to reduce the volume on my jam box. And just before he does, I hear the chorus of the song that was playing. You said you loved me, but it was all a lie. Now I'm so lonely, all I do is cry. I just made that up. That was pretty good. That's when I get the genius idea of how I'm going to get my revenge on Lara for laughing at me. She gets a song lyric and she's like, oh, this is great. I'm going to catfish her. I don't know. The first step is to set up a new Gmail account. I just can't believe that that Bree thought that she wasn't going to get caught. Like, this is stupid. At least the 42-year-old woman had the sense to use a VPN to mask her location. And Bree's just like on her computer setting up a new Gmail account like it won't be traced back to her. No one will ever know. Oh, who's that other account you have on your Gmail? Oh, it's just my catfish account. What? Now that I'm reading this in 2023, right? We're smarter than we were in 2014. So this is not flying as easily. Okay. That takes all of like 2 minutes. Then I use the new Gmail account to open a Facebook account. I search Google Images for a really hot guy. The kind of guy I know Lara would think is gorgeous. The kind she'd totally flip out over if she showed the faintest bit of interest in her. This is where I have an advantage from being her former best friend. I think this is an advantage, right? For sure. Something I said. I know her taste in guys. We used to sit in the food court at the mall, rating guys on a scale of 1 to 10. She'd sigh every time we went into Abercrombie because the models were so hot. Not that it did her any good. The salespeople in that store looked down their noses at her because she was overweight. She usually ended up more depressed after we went in there, but then I'd have to hear about it. It got to the point that if I wanted anything from Abercrombie, I'd make sure to go there with ABL. Anyone but Lara. I end up picking up an Abercrombie model, but just his face because he's got to look like he's still in high school. And there aren't that many guys at our high school who have washboard abs like this dude. His name's Adam Bernard, but I create a new identity for him. I search for some other pictures of him and upload them so it looks like he has a reasonable profile. On his new fake Facebook profile, I call him Christian. Christian DeWitt. He goes to East River High, which is about an hour away from here, far enough that Laura wouldn't know him and close enough that she'd think they might have a chance of meeting someday. I give him some of the same musical TV likes as she has, and then they have the same friends as me. I send a bunch of friend requests from him to other kids I know at our school, and then a whole bunch into freshman and sophomore at East River High. East River is a big school, and he's supposed to be a senior there, so they might not know him. And since he's good looking, I figure they'll probably just friend him. It's a good guess. Like, this is a very conniving thing for Bree to do. Her initial steps were kind of dumb, but now she's like getting into like the evil, devious kind of like thinking. Sure enough, by the time I finish my homework, Christian already has 150 friends. That's when I figure it's safe for him to send the friend request to Lara. Oh no. Okay, backing up. Kelly, Lara. It's there. My name on the list of girls who've made the cheerleading squad. I'm on the team. I'm part of the group. It's official. I'm not Lardo anymore. I read it again to make sure I'm not seeing things and then let out a shriek of excitement. I can't believe it. I made it. Awesome. I had a feeling you would, says Ashley. I can't believe she's talking to me, smiling at me. Welcome to the team, she says. Being friendly to me? This wouldn't have happened 2 years ago, maybe not even 1 year ago, but it's happening now. And I almost have to pinch myself to believe it's real, that it's happening to me, Lara Kelly. I'm so excited, I tell her, but also kind of nervous, to tell you the truth, I confessed. Don't worry, Ashley says. Everyone's nervous at first. You'll do great. She gives me a hug, and for the first time in years, it feels like I'm a part of something special. I wish I could take this moment and put it in a bottle to save in my memory box so I can remember it whenever I start feeling like Lardo again. I smile my thanks back at her. Hey, are you busy on Saturday? Ashley asks. A few of us are going to the mall. Yes, I exclaim, and then I realize that came out wrong. I mean, no, I'm not busy, and yes, I'd love to come. We both laugh, and as we do, I glance over and see Bree is giving me a death glare. Like, seriously, if it looks could kill, I'd be pushing up daisies. I try to ignore her, but I can't help wondering why she's mad at me. Then I see her turn and stomp off down the hallway looking at her phone. What's up with Bree Connors? I ask. She just gave me a totally evil look. Oh, she's probably pissed she didn't make the team, Ashley says. Wait, she didn't? I'm genuinely surprised. I'd have thought Bree would have made it before I did. She was on JV and has been doing cheerleading way longer than me. Nope, Ashley says. She's pretty good technically, but Coach Carlucci said she didn't have a great attitude in JV. Like, she was going through the motions instead of really putting her heart into it, and it showed. Oh, Don't let it bother you, Ashley advises me. Haters gonna hate. Ha, don't I know it? But for once, I'm on the inside, not the outside, being hated on. And I'm loving the way it feels. Yeah, I guess so, I say. Well, I better run or I'll miss the bus. I'll Facebook you my cell, Ashley calls down the hall after me, so we can make plans for Saturday. Bree is sitting in the back of the bus and she gives me another killer glare when I get on before turning her face away and pretending I don't exist. I get that she's pissed she didn't make the team, but what I don't understand is why she's so mad at me. It's not like I'm the only one who made the team when she didn't. Besides, Bree, of all people, knows how hard things have been for me. I know we aren't such good friends anymore. Well, hardly friends at all anymore. If I'm honest, but that's not my fault. She's the one who dumped me, not the other way around. Still, you'd think even if she can't bring herself to be happy for me, she could at least not be mad that my life is finally taking a turn for the better. Whatever, like Ashley said, haters gonna hate. It's her problem, not mine. And I really love this attitude that Lara is giving, right? Because this whatever attitude, that's what she needs to do, especially with Bree, is to like push her to the side and be like, okay, your problem, not my problem. Because the way that Bree is acting is obviously completely unfounded. She doesn't even know. She doesn't even understand why Bree is giving her this death glare. She didn't laugh at her, right? She didn't wasn't gloating over her about the cheerleading squad. She was just so excited about making it, right? So, you know, Bree's overreacting. I get most of my homework done and then go on Facebook. I make my status, OMG, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. I'm a cheerleader, more exclamation points, smiley face. Then I wonder if it's too dorky and if I should delete it. But it gets 3 likes pretty much right away, so I leave it. Dad brings home takeout from my favorite Chinese restaurant to celebrate me making the squad. Although Mom makes a point of measuring my portions because she wants to make sure you don't put the weight back on if you're going to be wearing those short cheerleading skirts. Like, tone it down, dude. Like, this, like, I think, like, they would definitely consider this fat shaming. Like, we would definitely, like, label that as something that, like, to do that. And it doesn't help. It's not something that helps a person overcome their issues about themselves, their self-esteem. Like, it is not something that actually helps. Like, pointing out things like that, it's like makes it worse. So don't do it. Like, I wasn't already worried about how I was going to look in them. Exactly. So it doesn't mean you'll get takeout when I get. So does this mean you'll get takeout when I get a lead part in an 8th grade musical? Sid asks. If you get lead, I say. Sid ignores me. This is really sad. This makes me feel sad for Sydney. This makes me feel so sad for Sydney. Well, does it? She asks Dad again. I will buy takeout to celebrate my little drama queen too. And he doesn't because she doesn't get it. I mean, there's sad things that happen in this book that are not Sydney missing out on the 8th grade musical, but like still this like hurts because I feel bad for Sydney. I feel like she to me is like one of the most sympathetic characters in this book. Good, because Maddie and Cara and me are already planning our audition pieces. I'm going to get a lead. Maddie, Cara, and I, Mom corrects her. At least it's not just me she's nitpicking tonight. Sid gives an Oscar-worthy sigh of irritation. Maddie, Cara, and I, she repeats, in what I have to admit is a spot-on imitation of Mom. Maybe she might get a lead after all. And when I do get a lead, we are not having Chinese. We are going to have yummy Italian from La Dolce Nana. Well, let's celebrate Lara's good news while we eat her choice tonight, Dad says. Then she'll celebrate your good news while she eats your choice when the time comes, Mom adds. If the time comes, I think again, but don't say. Ouch. Right before I go upstairs after dinner, I check Facebook again. I've got a friend request from some guy I've never heard of, Christian DeWitt, who's a senior at East River, a high school in town about an hour away from here. I have no idea why he's friending me, and I totally wouldn't friend someone I don't know. My parents are real freaks about that, but he's gorgeous. I mean, like model hot. And he's friends with a lot of my friends, so I think maybe it's okay. Even Bree's friends with him. Still, if my parents find out I've friended someone I don't know, it's like a grounding offense. Yeah, that's right. Like I said, total freaks. That's why I'm not allowed my own laptop, and Sid and I have to share this computer in the living room, which is so annoying. With Mom being on the city council, she's all about setting examples of how to be the perfect parent. And of course, she knows the police chief personally, so Sid and I always have to be a perfect example of everything. Nothing less than perfection will do when you're the daughters of city councilwoman Kathy Kelly. It's Kathy Kelly. Being fat and depressed definitely didn't fit the profile. That's a good point. That's a good point that Lara makes, right? That clearly her mom is doing this not because she cares about her, but maybe because it just looks good for politics, you know? I gaze at Christian DeWitt's picture, the cursor hovering over the confirm button. He's seriously hot. I can't believe he wants to friend me. It can't hurt, I tell myself, clicking confirm. I'm about to get off the computer when I hear the plink of Facebook chat. I can't believe it. It's him. Hot as anything, Christian DeWitt. Hey, congrats on making cheerleading, he writes. Thanks. I'm pretty pumped. Smiley face. So, how was the rest of your day? Like, this is so suspicious. A guy you do not know that just happens to be friends with other people you know. He instant friends you and then instantly starts chatting with you. That's weird. That's a red flag. Okay? That's a red flag. Just saying. Yeah, right. Bree knows, obviously. She's like trying to like fit it. But it's like this is such a big red flag. Like this is suspicious. Right, obviously Macho Man, we know. But she also posted it, right? Like Lara posted it to her Facebook page that she made the team, so now everybody knows, you know? Okay. Pretty good. How about you? Make the clicky sound while I'm typing. Better now. What was the matter before? Stuff. You know, it happens, right? I don't know it. At least you're having a good day. Good doesn't even begin to describe it. I made varsity cheerleading team, and now this amazing looking guy is chatting with me. When I think about it, where I wasn't a year and a half ago, I can't even believe this is happening. Yeah, pretty awesome day. And my day just improved because I'm talking to a cute girl like you. This is weird. This is weird. This is weird. I know it sounds nice, but this is weird. This is weird. Okay? It's weird because it is weird. He thinks I'm cute. I suddenly worry, though, that this is so weird and sudden. Trust that. Trust that instinct, Lara, please. What? What if he's some middle-aged creeper pretending to be a teenager? Like when the police come to school to give those be very afraid of the internet talks. But if he's friends with all these people I know and all the kids at his own high school, he must be legit. Do you need glasses? Winky tongue out face, I type. Come on, don't be modest. You're really pretty. This is so weird. Like, she even has this thought of, like, what if it's a catfish? And then she's like, no. Like, he's friends with all those people. Obviously, he's real. Obviously, he can't be fake because he's friends. He has Facebook friends. Pretty? He seriously must be blind or something. And she's just being flattered. Like, I get this. Like, I totally understand that Lara is like never been talked to by a guy like this before. And she's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. It's amazing, right? I love it. I love this attention. But she's letting that cloud her judgment of like what's really going on. Lara, are you done yet? You're not the only one who has homework, you know. Figures. Just as I finally have some gorgeous guy telling me I'm cute and pretty, my sister butts in and tells me she needs the computer. Gotta go, I type, hoping that this isn't the last time I ever hear from him. Chat soon, he writes. Smiling, I log off Facebook. It's all yours, I tell Sid, and I head upstairs. My life really is turning around, and I couldn't be happier. I do feel like when I first read this book, that was a much harder line for me to read. And now I just feel like, come on, Lara, like, what are you doing? Like, I know it's a pretty picture of a boy, but please, please use your better judgment here. Like, come on. Oh, jeez. So hard. Okay, here we go. Liam. You'd think it's mom who didn't make the cut for varsity cheerleading by the way she's stomping around the kitchen, breathing fire and smashing pots and pans down on the counter. I'm going into school tomorrow morning to talk to Coach Carlucci, she fumes. This is ridiculous. How can she cut you and let Lara Kelly on the team? Mom, no, Bree shouts. Don't do that. It'll just make things worse. Worse how? Mom asks. How can things be worse than you not making the team? You could be dead. You could be in jail. You could be homeless. Those are worse things than not making the cheerleading squad. Bree stares at Mom. Her fists are clenched. Her face is turning red, and I see a tear escape the corner of her eye. She looks like she's either going to let Mom have it or start crying hysterically. I wish she finally let Mom have it. I mean, it's not like she wanted to make the cheerleading that much anyway. Maybe it's a good thing she got cut. Her mouth opens, and I think, come on, Bree. But then she starts crying and runs out of the room. A minute later, we hear her door slam. Another typical evening at the Connors house. Mom picks up the phone and calls Dad. Sean, how long till you get home? Yeah, Dad, we need you here to bring on the sanity. Oh, Bree's in her room having another tantrum, Mom sighs. I just don't know what's got into her. Yes, I know, hormones, Sean, but there's more to it than that. Okay, see you soon. She hangs up and takes out the potato peeler. Liam, peel these potatoes for me, will you? Great. That's what I get for hanging around to watch the drama, stuck peeling potatoes while Bree has another tantrum and does nothing. I start peeling the stupid potatoes. At least you're not giving me problems right now, Mom says. But, like an idiot, even though it's not my fight, I start doing just that. Bree didn't even want to do cheerleading, Mom. Maybe it's a good thing she didn't make it. Now she can try out for something else. The look on my mother's face when she turns to me makes me curse myself for opening my mouth. Overreaction. A good thing? Is that what you think, Liam? Forget it. Never mind, I mumble. No, let's hear this, Mom says. Why, Liam? Why is your sister getting cut from the team after we've made sacrifices to pay for her to go to cheerleading camp every year a good thing? Because... Why did I say anything? This isn't my problem. It's Bree's, and you never win an argument with Mom, especially when she's in a mood like this. I sigh. Really, Mom, forget it. You're right. It's bad. Whatever. She's not happy with me, but at least she lets it go so I can finish peeling the potatoes and escape to watch TV until Dad comes home. I turn on the news, which isn't much of an escape, but Mr. Phillips tells us we should keep up with what's happening in the world if we want to be a part of the debate team. I flip from one cable news channel to another, wondering how the same story can sound so different depending on which channel I'm watching. I always thought the news was supposed to tell it like it is. There's only so much news I can take before I switch to one of the science channels. Watching things get blown up in the name of science makes me feel better. My father sticks his head in the living room when he gets home. Hey, buddy, how's it going? I roll my eyes. Great, if you like living in the middle of a war zone. Yeah, I gather there's been a disturbance in the Force, Dad says. He's a Star Wars geek, but he leaves it up to me to figure out who's Darth Vader in this particular episode. He sits down on the couch, or the sofa, next to me, just as there is a really epic explosion on the TV. Wow, that was awesome, he exclaims. Yeah, it was kind of like that between Mom and Bree, but I'd rather watch it on TV than in real life at home. I hear you, Liam. He gets up from the sofa with a grunt. I'll try to go impart some Jedi wisdom into the warring parties. Good luck with that, I mutter. Yeah, Mr. Connors seems like a really nice guy. You know, like he seems like a really nice dad. He cares. He's just like working a lot. But I think maybe, you know, his kind of like not stepping in with Bree, like Mrs. Connors and Bree's like Bree like more has probably caused some also thing. But it's also I don't know. He needs to maybe partner up more and like get together and try to like resolve some issues, like family therapy kind of thing. I do not, Macho Man. I do not. I really want it to be done by 9:30, but I don't know if it's going to be that way. I don't know. Okay. But I lower the volume on the TV so I can overhear this conversation with Mom. He's the calming one. Maybe I can learn something. I'm going to go into school tomorrow and talk to Coach Carlucci, Mom's telling him. It's ridiculous that Lara Kelly made the team and Bree didn't, and you know it. I don't know anything, Mary Jo, Dad says. Maybe Bree had an off day and Laura was in top form. But if she had an off day, Coach should take that into account, Mom says. Everyone has off days. Honey, you told me Bree said she wanted to try out for dance team. Maybe she didn't have the tryouts. She didn't give the tryouts her best shot, Dad suggests. That's not the way I've brought up my daughter, Mom says. I've told her she's always supposed to give everything her best shot, no matter what. Did I get to where I am today by half measures? Of course you didn't, but she's a teenager. She has to learn things for herself, Dad says. So you want me to let our kids fail? Mom says. Is that what you're asking me to do? I hear her stirring something on the stove. The metal spoon is clanking angrily against the side of the saucepan. I don't want the kids to fail any more than you do, Dad says. He's starting to lose his Yoda-like calm. But they're going to face disappointments in life, and they need to learn how to cope with them without us rushing in to try to make things better. So then they'll be disadvantaged, Mom argues. You think Kathy Kelly isn't pulling strings with the mayor to get whatever she can for her kids? Yeah, and do things always go so well with Lara, Dad says. Just because other parents are doing it doesn't mean we should. Score one for Dad by bringing up Laura's imperfections. Sort of. Mom grumbles her response so I can hear what he says. But from the tone of her grumbling, I can tell that Dad's won this round. Now he'll go up and talk to Bree, and hopefully peace will be restored in the Connors household in time for dinner, which is good because I'm starving. Bree. I hate my mother. Nothing I do is ever enough because I'll never be her. What if I don't want to be her? Does she ever think about that? What if I want to be me, whoever that is? Like I'll ever get a chance to find out living with the great white shark mom. If she goes to talk to Coach Carlucci tomorrow, I'm never going to speak to her again, ever. I will die. Seriously, die. There's a knock on my door. Go away, Liam, I shout. It's Dad. Is it safe to come in? He says it in a joking way, like he knows I'm not how mad I am at Mom. Dad's gotten used to acting as the United Nations peacekeeping force between us. Yeah, okay. Dad comes in and closes the door behind him. Doing your homework? Trying to. It's hard to concentrate when you're upset, huh? I nod. Heard about cheerleading. I don't say anything. I don't even look at him. I don't want to talk about it. Look, Breenut, Dad says, calling me by a nickname from when I was a baby. I know Mom's upset you didn't make the team, but it's not the end of the world. That's when I turn to him. Do you mean that? I wouldn't say it if I didn't. I have to swallow a lump in my throat. At least one of my parents doesn't think I'm a total disappointment. In a way, I think this could be good for you. It'll give you a chance to try something new. Didn't you say you wanted to try out for dance? I did, but it's probably too late to try out now. Well, how about exploring some other interests? That would be good if I could think of any, but it's pretty much been cheerleading all the way my whole life. Like what? Anything. Newspaper, debate, volunteering, school dance committee. At last year's open house, they had a list of clubs, as long as my arm, longer even. I'm not going to do debate like Liam, Dad, I tell him. Forget it. I just use that as an example, Bree, Dad says. He sounds a little irritated. Choose whatever strikes your fancy, but try something new. Experiment while you're young before you get stuck in a track and it's too late. He sighs, and I wonder if he feels like he's stuck and it's too late. Did he dream of owning his own plumbing supply store when he was my age? Did he ever want to get out of Lake Hills and go somewhere else? Okay, I'll think about it. Thanks, Dad, I say, turning back to my desk. I've got to finish my homework. Dad comes over and kisses the top of my head. Go easy on your mother, Breenut, he says. She means well. Whatever feelings I had of being understood disappear as Dad walks out of the room. I can't help wondering if he asked Mom to go easy on me too. I've been chatting with Lara as Christian DeWitt guy for a few weeks now, and it's getting kind of weird because it's weird. Because Lara is flirting with me. I mean, really flirting. It's a side of her I've never seen before. And it's creepy, Bree. I'm like, who is this person? This isn't the Laura I knew. This definitely isn't the Laura you see in school. Okay, so I'll admit, I started flirting with her at first. Come on. I mean, Christian did. I would never flirt with another girl. Okay, well, you never say never. It's not like I'm gay or anything. Okay, this is like, I guess that's why it all feels so weird. But like I said, it's not me who's really flirting with her. It's Christian, or as Laura's started calling him, sweetie, barf, honey, puke, and babe, awkward. We read the part where Lara had made the profile for him, or of Christian. Sometimes it creeps me out so much to be flirting with her that I don't know how much longer I can keep doing it. I wonder if I should shut down his profile and the Gmail account without saying goodbye. just disappearing Christian DeWitt from the face of the internet. A few clicks here, a few clicks there, and his royal hotness, Mr. DeWitt, is a virtual toast. So she really didn't know what she was going to do with this profile, right? Like, Bree just made this profile just to like mess with Lara, but had no intention of trying to make her kill herself. Like, she really didn't know what the end game was. She just did it to try to be, I don't know. She did it to be weird. Because it is weird. And the fact that she's saying it is weird. It's weird. It's weird. I mean, and not just because like obviously she has this hang up about like girl on girl like relationships, but also because like you don't like her. Like you don't like her as a friend. Like it's weird that you're doing this. And she doesn't even know like how far it's going to go. Like she has literally no idea. I wonder what I should do with this. Right? Like I guess so. Like she wanted to be making it funny, you know, like trying to make fun of her in a way, but it's weird. It's a weird way to do that. It's just a weird way to do that. You know? I don't know. I wouldn't It's one thing to be like her and her friend Marcy and the other girl, Jenny, out in the quad or wherever they are with the students walking around and making fun of people's outfits and stuff. Like that happens, like she says, like you're going to be judged no matter where you go, and it's absolutely true. But this is like a step in a direct, like this is a step too far. It's a step too far. Like this is weird. This is weird. But then Lara walks past me at school with Ashley Trapasso, and the two of them in their little cheerleading outfits with matching purple and gold hair ribbons. And Lara ignores me like she's better than me all of a sudden. And she just keeps like digging in this like Lara thing. Yeah. Yeah. Or getting back at her. Yeah. For talking about herself so much. Maybe. Yeah. She's resentful to that for sure. And then she hooks into it, right? And she sees Lara walking past. And Lara ignores me like she's better than me all of a sudden. No, she's ignoring you because you're not friends anymore. Like you ignored her first. So she's just giving you the same behavior. Like she's better than me. Like, Bree, get over it. That's when I realize I have to continue. And I laugh to myself as she passes because I know the guy she's seriously crushing on is just make-believe. That actually that guy is me, her old BFF, Brianna Connors. How do you like that, Lara, sweetie, honey, babe? God, like it's weird that I don't know. We're just going to keep reading. I think it was because I was getting bored of flirting with Lara that I decided to let Marcy in. Yeah, she wanted someone to share it with, right? She wants somebody to like validate her behavior and laugh with her, for sure. Until then, my alter ego has Kristen DeWitt was a secret between Gmail, Facebook, and me. But Marcy was over one night around the time Christian would normally be chatting with Lara, and I was getting tired of having to keep thinking of nice things to say to the girl. I decided that Marcy might be a source of useful inspiration. At first, I was really nervous about how Marcy would react. I was worried that she would think I was some kind of freak, because I definitely would. I would think that you were a freak, Bree. Turns out, she thought it was hilarious, because Marcy's kind of like Bree. Wait, Christian DeWitt is you? She said. Yeah, well, actually, he's this Abercrombie model, I told her, bringing up the model's website. But the guy Laura is crushing on, that's me. Just then, I noticed that Lara had come online. Check it out. She's online, I said. Want to flirt with her? Marcy giggled. Ooh, yeah, flirting is my specialty. She was speaking the truth. It's one of the reasons I hang out with her. I keep hoping her flirting skills will rub off and I'll be able to interact with guys without coming off as a total dork. I mean, I'm great at flirting from behind a computer screen when I'm pretending to be Christian. But put me in front of a real boy and I get tongue-tied. I start off the conversation asking Lara how her day went. She went on and on with all her boring cheerleading stuff, how she'd mastered some new tumble and she was going to be second from top on the pyramid. Like some guy would actually care about any of that. If there were an Olympics for boring, Lara would be an all-time gold medalist. There are people that care about you and like what you do in your day. Okay? Bree's just like jealous that she doesn't have that. Marcy was cracking up. You think she'd never talked to a guy before, she said. Let me have a turn. Marcy doesn't know about Lara and me and how we used to be best friends, about Lara's problems in middle school. She doesn't know what I know, that Christian probably is the first guy who ever showed interest in Laura. And he's not even real. Ha 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 ha. Sure, I said, letting her sit in the chair. I know, Marcy said. Why don't we pretend Christian's got a big dance coming up at his school and have him hint that he's going to invite Laura? So it was Marcy's idea. It was Marcy's idea. Why didn't I think of that? I said. I've been getting so bored of flirting with her. At least this will give us something else to talk about so I don't have to keep lying and telling her she's cute and pretty. Laura's kind of cute, Marcy said. I mean, she's not a total dog. For some reason, this annoyed me. She didn't know Lara when she was Lardo. I was the one who was friends with that girl. I was the one who had to listen to Lardosaurus cry and complain. Well, she's not my type, I said, trying to cover up my annoyance with a joke. Anyway, let's look on the East River High website and see if they have an actual dance coming up, just in case Lara thinks to check. We're in luck. The weekend before Thanksgiving, there's an East River High homecoming parade, football game, and dance that give us plenty of time to string Laura along with the hopes of a fake date. So do you have any big plans before the weekend before Thanksgiving, Marcy, as Christian asked Laura. Not really. I think we march in the homecoming parade, the cheerleaders, I mean. You don't have a dance? Well, there's a dance, but I doubt I'll go. Why not? Oh, not my scene. So if we had a dance at East River, that wouldn't be your scene? Marcy and I laughed as we watched the cursor blink, picturing Laura completely freaking out in front of her computer as she tried to figure out how to respond. It took her long enough. I guess that would depend on who I was there with. So, hypothetically, if you were there with someone like me. I wish I could see her face right now, I said. I bet she's peeing herself. I know, right? Marcy said. Come on, Lara, tell your boyfriend what he wants to hear. I'm not her boyfriend yet, I said. Don't rush things. You're not her boyfriend at all, Marcy said. She had a point. But I'm the real Christian. He's my creation. I wanted to be the one in control, the one setting the pace. If it were, hypothetically, someone like you, then it would be definitely more my scene, smiley face. Look, she went smiley face on him, Marcy said. I know, macho man. I know. This is how far it's progressed. Don't ask her yet, I said frantically. Tell her you've got to go. Marcy looked at me like I flipped. Why? We're just starting to have fun. It's more fun to string her along, I said. That's what Christian would do if he were a real guy, right? Yeah, I guess, Marcy said as she typed, talk soon, gotta go. I could just imagine Laura's disappointment as Christian logged off so abruptly after teasing her with the idea of the dance. A few years ago, my phone would have been ringing right away and we'd have just dissected every sentence of the chat for meaning. But that's the beauty of this whole thing. I know exactly how Lara thinks, and it's gross. 2 days later, I tell Marcy she has to come with me to the media center during our open period because I've got something to show her. This better be worth it, she says, because Taylor Goodhue is in the student center, and no offense, he's a lot cuter than you are. Marcy's one of my best friends, but when she's pursuing a hot guy, she'll dump me and Jenny in a heartbeat. Then she's not your best friend. That's the way she is. It's annoying, but you learn to live with it because she's fun to hang out with for the rest of the time. You'll have time to go to the student center afterward, I tell her. Trust me, you want to see this. I find a free computer that isn't close to other students and go to Wanlo. Wanelo? I know Laura's screen name from back when we were friends, and I show Marcy the cute dresses for the dance list she set up. Oh my God, Marcy says so loudly I have to tell her to shush before the librarian does. She lowers her voice. The girl is totally delusional. She's making lists of dresses to go to a dance with a guy that doesn't even exist. I know, hysterical, I tell her. And look at the dresses. This one just screams loser, Marcy says. What about this one, I say. It's like she wants to be Ariel from The Little Mermaid, but in 10th grade. We go through the entire list, shredding all of Laura's choices. Marcy's having so much fun dissing Laura, she spends the whole open period with me and doesn't even care that she's missed going to the student center to hang out with way cuter Taylor Goodhue. And this is it. This is Bree's reason for doing this, reason for wanting to share it with Marcy, like the feeling of like the mutual, like, look at this person that I hate and let's diss on them and tell them they're ugly and gross, right? Like she's having this like connection, mutual connection of hatred with for another person, which is not the best thing to build a relationship or even a friendship off of. Sydney, not freaking a freaking again. I am so sick of this. Every time I need the computer to do homework, Lara's on it. I thought she made the varsity cheerleading. She'd be out of the house more and getting a life. To be fair, she is out of the house more at practice and stuff, but the problem is when she comes home, she's glued to the computer. And judging from how she's all smiley and smug, I'm betting you anything she's not doing homework all the time she's on it. Even though whenever I say I need to get on, she swears she is. We are on page 144. Type, type, type. Plink. That's Facebook chat. She isn't doing homework. The giggling, lying dork. That's it. It's my turn. Lara, I need the computer now. I've got homework to do. You're messing around. I'm not, she says. I'm chatting to someone about my homework. Seriously, I can't understand why God doesn't just strike her down with a lightning bolt. It's so obvious she's telling great big whopping lies. I'll give you 20 minutes and then I'm calling mom, I say, furious that as usual. All right, traffic cone, it ends soon. We're getting there, all right? I know, trust me. You want me to look? Want me to look where we are? I know, me too. I'm feeling it. Look, we've got a couple more to go. Things are gonna ramp up right here. We probably are taking this to 9:45. Just saying. All right. I'll give you 20 minutes and then I'm calling mom, I say. Furious that as usual, I'm the one who ends up giving in and letting Lara get her way. Being the younger sister stinks, especially when your older sister has issues and everyone expects you to tiptoe around her in case she loses it again. So I don't know if they ever tell us exactly what happened in middle school other than the fact that she was just so depressed. Like maybe she mentioned suicide in the past. Like I don't know if that's something that has like I can't remember if that's something they mentioned in this book because they just talk about like her having a history, like having a mental health issue. Like no one actually says like what it was that made everybody kind of like, "Oh, this is a mental health issue," right? Like she just was bullied and she was fat, so she went on a nutritionist. I mean, I don't know. Especially when she's completely fine now. But she's not. No one is completely fine, okay? Like, we always try together. She mentioned she was suicidal. I mean, she said, like, when she's on the phone with Bree, she's like, I just want to die. I don't want to live anymore, right? Like, that's, people do hear that and they're like, oh, like, we need to get this person help. Yes, for sure. But everyone got so used to her not being fine that my parents still treat her like a piece of fragile porcelain. Me, I'm their beef jerky kid. As far as mom and dad are concerned, I'm a non-perishable item. Tough as old boot leather. I'm going to ask for my own laptop for my birthday. I don't care what the stupid police chief says, and if my mom says no, I'm just going to save up the money my grandparents give me for birthdays and Christmas and whatever until I can afford to buy one for myself. You go, Sydney. You go. Go off. Wait, before Macho Man? Does it mention her like in middle school trying suicide before? Because I don't remember that. Have I not read that part yet? Because obviously, like at the beginning of the book, but I don't know if that was like her first attempt or if like it was her second attempt. I feel like it was her first attempt because they don't really talk about her trying to do it before. I feel like. Yeah, I know. Like right where we are now, like 2 months, like before the whole, yeah. But I don't know if they actually say, like, I don't think they actually say that she had an attempt. I think the time in the book was her first attempt. I think she might have talked about it before, but I don't think she actually attempted it before. Right? Because if she had attempted it before, like they would not have let her into the bathroom. They wouldn't have let her in the bathroom to I mean, maybe, I don't know. Maybe they were like, oh, she's fine now. We don't need to worry. But I feel like that's, once you attempt, like people don't really see you like as being fine, after that, usually. Even if you do get better, even if you do recover, like the fact that you had one in the past makes you like, I guess, I don't know. I don't know, Matcha Man. I don't remember that in the book. I don't remember her saying that she attempted suicide before. I thought it was just that she said, sorry. We'll get over it. We're moving on. Okay, so Sydney's talking about getting her own laptop, which is a great move. It's a queen move right there. Then I can do my homework whenever I want to instead of having to work around my faking it fragile sister. I have to get away from Laura and her annoying giggling, but I don't want to go all the way upstairs. I want her to know that I'm hovering in wait. So I go out on the patio to text Kara and Maddie. The sun is sinking behind the trees, and I see the silhouette of the old tree fort, the one my dad made with Mr. Connors, while Lara and Bree used to spend so much time together before they stopped hanging out. I spot movement in the shadows beneath the tree, a faint rustle of the dried leaves piled around its base, and then I see a person climbing up the wooden rungs nailed to the trunk. Liam. These days, we smile at each other on the bus when we see each other in the halls, but since our families stopped hanging out, we don't see each other as much as we used to. I suddenly find myself wondering why. It's not like we ever had a problem with each other. I guess we were used to our friendship just happening, or maybe he got embarrassed about hanging out with a girl because his friends were teasing him. I swear, the minute I started wearing a bra, some of the guys at school started acting all weird. I glance inside. Lara's still on the computer. She's still got 18 minutes according to the time on my cell, so I figure, what the heck? I walk over to the bottom of the big old oak, hoping I don't scare Liam with the sound of my feet crunching through the leaves. As I start climbing up the wooden rungs, I whistle so he knows someone is coming up. His head pops out of the doorway, and he shines the flashlight app on his cell phone down in my face, almost blinding me. Do you mind? I complain. Oh, it's you, he says. I was afraid it was Bree. I climb up the rest of the way and crawl in to join him. The tree house seems so much smaller than I remember. A spider web catches in my hair as I lean against the wall, breathing in the must and mold of disuse. Liam lights a candle and it glows, flickering, showing the boy band posters my sister and Bree had tacked up on the wall back when they were into that kind of thing, back when they were still friends. So what brings you up here? Liam asks. I had to get away from Laura, I say, and I saw you climbing up, so... Funny that, Liam says with a wry grin. I came up here to get away from Bree. Remember how they always used to keep us out of here even though it was supposed to be for all of us? Oh yeah, Liam says, and we'd be stuck down below complaining about how not fair it was, but not knowing how to do anything about it. How did they get away with being so mean to us? Because they're older sisters, Liam suggests, because that's the way it is in families. I guess so. So is Bree still mean to you? Not mean, just annoying, seriously annoying. Sometimes it feels like the house isn't big enough for the both of us. That's when I escape out here. Bree hasn't been up here for like 2 years or something. It looks like no one's been up here. It's gross. You should clean the place up if you're planning on hanging out here regularly. He laughs, the candlelight reflecting on the whiteness of his teeth. Wow, you're such a girl, Sid. Duh, really? I hadn't noticed. Some guys get all weird when I joke around with them, but not Liam. Even though we hadn't hung out in a while, he definitely gets my humor. We used to play Mad Libs and do silly stuff like try to make all the words have to do with farts and poop. It made us laugh so hard our stomachs hurt. Our parents called us the little hyenas because we were always cracking up about something. Why did we stop getting together as families just because Lara and Bree got all teenage girl and fell out? Liam bursts out suddenly. Does the whole freaking world revolve around my sister? Yes! It's as if the candle's glow has reached the very deepest part of me, the part that I don't want to let people see because I'm afraid it makes me an awful person. But suddenly the person I'm so afraid of, deepest, darkest Sid, realizes she's not alone. Tell me about it, I say. When you're normal in my house, you might as well be invisible. How is Laura? He asks. Oh, she's fine and being totally annoying and inconsiderate. Not that my parents would ever see that. That's why I was outside. She's hogging the computer every night, pretending she's doing homework, but really, she's chatting. Totally annoying and inconsiderate. Wow, sounds just like Bree, Liam says. We sit, watching the flickering candle, enjoying a moment of silent younger sibling solidarity. Why didn't our moms stay friends, he asks, or our dads? He doesn't say, or us, but it's there, hanging unspoken, like a ripe fruit unpicked. And now that I'm sitting here with him in the candlelight, I wonder too. But unlike all my other friends, Liam gets it. Mom got all caught up in city council stuff, I guess. Yeah, she's like a big politician these days, huh? Ugh, I know. And my mom's determined to be the real estate queen of Lake Hills, Liam says. You can't go past a bus shelter without seeing her face. Tell me the truth. Have you ever felt like drawing a mustache on her poster with a Sharpie when you've been really mad at her? Liam bursts out laughing. How did you know? That was the one secret I thought I was taking to the grave. Probably because I felt like defacing mom's campaign posters once or twice, I admit. But at least I only have to deal with that every 2 years. You have to see your mom on the bus shelter all the time. Yeah, tell me about it. I mean, I love mom and all, but everything I touch turns to sold? Cringe. Well, what about my mom? Kathy Kelly putting the public in public service? As long as she doesn't have to admit that there's anything the matter with our family in public, that is. Speaking of things wrong with our family, I checked the time on my cell. It's been more than 20 minutes. I've got to go. I told Laura she had to get off the computer in 20 minutes so I could do my homework, and her time is past being up. Wait, Liam says. It's just, even if our families aren't friends anymore, do you think you and I could still, hang out sometime? Even in the candlelight, I can see him blushing through his freckles.
Aww.
He means like friends, right? Yeah, I say, hoping that's what he means because I'm not sure how I'd feel about anything more. Aw, Sydney. See you in school. Good night. Careful going down. I'll shine the light for you. I climbed down the slat ladder, bathed in the light from his flashlight app. We call good night to each other again when I reach the bottom. I crunch through the dead leaves back to my house when I let myself in through the sliding glass door. My cold fingers and cheeks tingle from the warmth. When I get into the living room, though, it's my temper that flares when I realize Lara is still on the computer, giggling and typing, so obviously not doing homework. Laura, get off. It's my turn. Just give me 2 more minutes, she says. I'm calling Mom, pressing her number in favorites. Laura, still typing. Mom picks up and she's not happy. Sydney, I'm in the middle of a council meeting. What is it? Laura won't get off the computer and I need to do my homework. She's not even doing work. She's chatting. You interrupted me at a meeting? Mom, I need to do my homework. Put her on. I hand Laura my phone. Mom wants to talk to you. I can hear Mom yelling at Laura, furious that we interrupted her while she's busy doing oh so important city council business at her meeting. Laura's typing as she's listening, but she finally says, okay, fine. She hangs up, logs off, throws my phone onto the table, and storms upstairs. I'm fuming with anger and frustration as I start my homework. But then I think about hanging out with Liam earlier and how that was the best part of the day. At least Laura can't ruin that.
Aww.
So cute. Bree. Have I ever gotten a dislike? Yeah, of course I have. Let's keep going. Bree. There are pros and cons to having told Marcy about Christian. In the pro column, she's been giving me ideas on how to keep my flirtation with Laura going. I guess it helps that she's got a lot more experience with flirting than I have. Marcy's way more advanced than I am on the guy front. She's done stuff that I only think about, and even then, I feel guilty. When we were all talking one night at a sleepover, Marcy, Jenny, and me. I lied and said I had done stuff I hadn't. Afterward, I wondered why. Why couldn't I have just said, I haven't done that yet? What would have been that big of a deal? I guess I was wondering if I did. They may have made fun of me or for not having done stuff. Or they might think I was judging them for done stuff they'd done. Or for stuff they'd done. What would have happened if I had just told the truth? Good question. Marcy's totally into the Christian deception. She checks out Laura's dress list every day and judges up a storm. Marcy's got some issues too. Marcy makes the team on the show Fashion Firing Squad look like Girl Scouts. She texts me as soon as Laura posts something new, along with her biting review. The OMG, the latest one looks like a red velvet cupcake with chickenpox. Hideous. The funny thing is, Laura's getting more and more excited about a dance that I haven't even asked her to yet. Or more accurately, Christian hasn't. He's been hinting that he's going to ask her, but he hasn't pulled the trigger. It's kind of fun to watch Laura squirming like a worm on a fishing hook, wondering if and when he's going to do it. So Laura keeps herself busy picking out new dresses, and Marcy gets to play Fashion Firing Squad. It's a total win-win. One evening, I'm so busy multitasking, chatting to Laura as Christian in one window on Facebook, and laughing with Marcy about Lara's dress choices in another, and trying to actually get some homework done in a third, that between all that and the music I'm blasting, I don't notice that my mom is standing behind me reading the screen over my shoulder. Oh my God, no. No, what's gonna happen? Why are you flirting with Laura Kelly? She asks. I jump and quickly minimize all my windows. Mom, did you consider knocking? I complain, but my heart is beating furiously because I'm so busted. She sits on my bed. Is there anything you want to tell me, Brianna? She asks. I know being a teenager can be confusing, and especially with those shows on TV. And, all I'm saying is, do you need to tell me something about your, preferences? It takes me a second to realize that my mom's saying or not saying. And when I do, I groan because seriously, it's like she doesn't know me at all. I like boys, Mom, if that's what you're asking. I don't understand. Then why are you talking about going to a dance with Lara Kelly? My mom glances between me and the now blank computer screen, her brow wrinkling in confusion. Well, wrinkling as much as it can after the Botox she had done before she had the photos taken for those awful everything I touch turns to sold bus posters. If I had some warning, I could have come up with an excuse, but I'm blanking, so I go with the truth. Well, truth-ish. It's a joke I'm playing on Laura because I was pissed she had made cheerleading and I didn't, I explain, fully expecting the grounding guillotine to be lowered the minute I am done. Botox is stuff that they use. It's a medicine that's like I can't really explain it too much, but it is basically like a thing that they put into your face. You can get it injected into your face so that you don't have wrinkles. Basically, that's the short answer. If you want the long answer, you can ask Dr. Google. Yeah. So basically, when Sydney is saying her brow wrinkling, like means that she can't really, and it because Botox is like something that makes you stop having wrinkles. It also basically freezes the nerves in your face, so it's harder for your face to make expressions. So like if you have a lot of Botox on your face, it can be like your face doesn't move a lot when you are talking or interacting with people. Okay, so she's told her mom, I'm fully expecting the grounding guillotine be lowered in the minute I'm done. I've been pretending to be this guy Christian for a month or so, and she's developed a major crush on me. Well, I mean, on him. I trail off, expecting mom to start her tirade about how I'm irresponsible and such a disappointment and how I should be more like her. Because this is all the things she always expects from her mom. All the usual complaints she has about how I don't measure up. But to my amazement, she smiles. And then she starts laughing. That's priceless, she says. Laura actually believes you're this guy. Yeah, she's been like flirting with me. Well, him. She even thinks I'm going to invite her to my school dance. And she's picking out all these really fugly dresses just in case. I've been kind of stringing her along, and now this I've got to see. Kathy Kelly's daughter flirting with a fake boyfriend. Come on, show me. I'm totally glad she's not mad and grounding me, but suddenly I have this crazy feeling. It's crazy how these people have this crazy feeling that maybe I wish she was. Because this feels kind of weird. Yes, this is an instinct. This is a normal intuitive feeling, right? Maybe you're thinking this is bad. I'm doing the bad thing and I want my mom to validate that it is a bad thing that I'm doing, not reward me with praise. Reluctantly, I maximize the Facebook chat window. Laura's asking, "Christian, are you still there?" Yeah, sorry, had to swap away for a sec. Oh, I thought I said the wrong thing, smiley face. Laura is so insecure, it's pathetic. Every time Christian shows the slightest bit of coolness to her, she thinks it's because she did something wrong. It makes it so easy to play her, which is really sad. Oh dear, poor Laura. She's so needy and gullible, Mom says. Tell her, you could never say the wrong thing, baby. What? Go on, type it. You could never say the wrong thing, baby, I type slowly on the keyboard. Just a few moments ago, I felt powerful, like Laura was my puppet on a string. Now, all of a sudden, the tables are turned. Now, it's like I'm the puppet, and Mom's the one pulling the strings. Type how cute that picture of her is and how just looking at it gives you the warm fuzzies, Mom says. Christian wouldn't say warm fuzzies, Mom. That's totally lame. Just type it, she orders. My fingers pound the keys angrily. "Aw, you're so sweet, smiley face," Lara types back. I seriously want to puke. "Let me have a turn," Mom says. I stare at her. What? Come on, move over. I want to be Christian for a while. Okay, this is how totally moved into beyond weird territory. No, Mom. Oh, come on, Bree. It's just a little fun. I slide out of my chair. This makes you read the first part totally different. You go back and you read the first part, you read that one chapter where Bree and her mom are talking about this, changes everything. Changes everything. They're talking about how Laura tried to kill herself because of what they're doing right now, right? Okay. I slide out of my chair. Mom sits down and immediately starts typing. I feel like I'm going to throw up. Me too. The one thing for me to do this, it was bad enough when Marcy got involved, but now my mother is doing it. Kathy Kelly always walks around with her nose in the air like she's better than everyone else. Where have we heard that before? Mom mutters as she's typing, pretending she's the perfect mom. Ha! She turns to me and smiles. We know better than that, don't we, Bree? Yeah, we do. If she's such a perfect mom, then why is Laura such a screw up? I've heard Mom say those exact words so many times that I just repeat what she expects me to say. I'm so sick of seeing her fake smile on those campaign posters, Mom says. You should have made the cheerleading team, not that crazy daughter of hers. I bet it was all about politics. Kathy probably pulled strings with the coach. I knew I should have called Coach Carlucci. I started this whole Christian thing because I was mad at Laura had laughed at me when she made the team and I got cut. But listening to Mom, I try to remember why I was so mad. It wasn't me who was into cheerleading to begin with. It was my mom. I kept it going because I was bored. And to be honest, I'm curious how far I can take this, how long it takes before Laura realizes that she's been tricked into bearing her heart to a fake guy. But now that Mom's involved, I almost wish I'd never started. Chill, Mom, she didn't, I say. I just didn't make the team, okay? Oh, look, Laura has to get off the computer, but she sent us XOXO. How cute, Mom says. She types, love you. What? I shriek. What did you do that for? I'm not ready for the L word. It's not you saying it, Mom says. It's Christian. Ugh. Now I really wish she'd grounded me instead. It's always like this with Mom. I can't have anything for myself without her ruining it. I'm glad I didn't make the stupid cheerleading team. It's worth it just to spite her. And this is why the whole thing started, Bree. So do you feel bad now? It's about time someone took those Kellys down a peg or two. I'm proud of you, Bree. I've tried so hard and for so long to get my mom to say those words. But now that she does, they leave me feeling hollow. Yeah, bet they do. Liam, Sydney, Kelly, and I haven't sat on the bus together for a long time. How far are we? What is our time looking at? It's probably more like 10 o'clock, okay? Sydney, Kelly, and I haven't been on the bus in a long time. But after she climbed up and hung out with me in the tree fort last week, something shifted. Today, she gets on the bus before me, then slides over and smiles when I get on, inviting me to sit next to her. I hesitate for a second or two, wondering about what Spencer and the rest of the guys are going to say. But then I remember how good it felt to chill with Sid again, and I sit down next to her, our shoulders touching as the bus lurches forwards onto the next stop. How's it going? I ask. Okay, she says. Laura's still being annoying, but that's not exactly breaking news. Well, if it makes you feel any better, Bree is too, I tell her. But let's not talk about our stupid sisters, okay? Good thinking. Yeah, I think so too. Sid says. She pulls some papers out of her backpack. Hey, can you run some lines with me? Beauty and the Beast auditions are on Friday after school, and I'm trying out for Belle. Sure, I say, hoping I don't get carsick. I mean, we're on a bus, so maybe it'll be different. Don't worry, I won't embarrass you by singing anything, Sid says. I don't care if you sing, as long as you don't expect me to, I tell her. She laughs, and she seems to shift a little closer to me. Our knees touch.
Aww.
And she doesn't move hers away. You read The Beast. Start here, Sid says, pointing with her finger. Okay, here goes, I say, clearing the morning frogginess out of my throat. Belle, are you happy here with me? Yes, Sid answers tentatively. What is it? I read. Sid looks at me with wide, sad eyes. I feel queasy. I think it's just because I'm reading on the bus. If only I could see my father again, just for a moment. I miss him so much. There is a way, I read. I pretend to hand her a magic mirror. This mirror will show you anything, anything you wish to see. I'd like to see my father, please, Sid says. According to the script, this magic mirror shows Belle's dad stumbling around in the woods, lost, sick, and in pretty bad shape. Papa, oh no, he's sick. He may be dying, and he's all alone. Sid's good at this acting thing. I turn to look at her because she sounds like she's starting to cry, but she smiles at me, so I carry on reading. Then you must go to him, I say. I feel sorry for the beast dude. He obviously likes this Belle chick, but he's going to have to let her go. What did you say? I release you. You are no longer my prisoner. I wonder if I had a girl I liked as my prisoner, and I thought maybe she was starting to like me back. Would I let her go? I mean, I know it would be the right thing to do. But if it were some beast guy living all alone in the middle of the woods, would I still care about doing the right thing? Who would be there to know if I did the wrong thing except for me? Wow. Okay, you mean I'm free? Sid sounds so amazed that you'd think I was really keeping her prisoner. Yes. Oh, thank you, she says, and then she tells the pretend magic mirror, Hold on, Papa, I'm on my way. Take it with you so you'll always have a way to look back and remember me, I read. I'm really feeling this dude's pain now. I don't want her to go. Thank you for understanding how much he needs me, Sid says, and the warmth and gratitude in her eyes is so genuine I almost feel like she's going to lean forward and kiss me. Did I get all the lines right? She asks. What? Oh, yeah, I say, half disappointed that she doesn't, even though I'd really like to catch crap for that. But it would be worth it. You make a pretty good beast, Sid says. If you could carry a tune, I'd tell you to try out. Yeah, well, that's not going to happen. No way, no how, I assure her. The only place I sing is in the shower. Coward, she says. I've heard you sing before when we were younger. You weren't that bad. In case you haven't noticed, my voice has changed since then. Yeah, it's not as high and squeaky, Sid says, but she's grinning, so I know she's teasing me. My voice was never squeaky, I tell her. She starts making squeaky mouse noises, so I tickle her side.
Aww.
In the place I remember from when we were little that she's really ticklish, and then she's laughing and gasping, Stop, truce! So I do. Seriously, do you think I've got a chance? She asks. I want the part of Belle so badly. Aw. I've been practicing for over a month. I'm no expert, but I think you're great, I tell her, and I mean it. It's hard because Maddie and Kara are trying out too, and they're my best friends. I want the part, but I'll feel bad if they're upset and they don't get it. I like that about Sid. She's ambitious like Mom, but she's not out for herself. Well, you know what they say, all's fair in love and theater. She laughs. I don't think that's exactly what they say, but theater can feel like war sometimes. The bus pulls up in front of school. Well, good luck with auditions, I tell her. Break a leg, she says. That's what you say in the theater. Break a leg then. Break both of them. No, don't say that, Sid giggles as she follows me off the bus. Breaking both legs wouldn't be so great. Definitely only break one then. The last thing I want is to wish bad luck on Sydney, just when we're starting to hang out again.
Aww.
Lara. When Mr. Jones asked for my math homework and I didn't have it, I wanted to sink through the floor because I'm not the kind of student who does that. Honestly, I'm not. I always do my homework. Except last night, I didn't, because how could I possibly think about logarithms after Christian said he loved me? It wasn't a long romantic protestation of love, just a simple love you right as he was signing off. But still, he said it. The L word. Because that was a 42-year-old woman and you are a 12-year-old. And 42-year-olds don't say love you like 12-year-olds do. Okay? Like it's a different kind of, this is so bad. Sorry, we're continuing on. I tried to concentrate on my homework. I really did, but it was impossible. It's the first time anyone has said love you to me other than my parents or my grandparents. The first time a guy has said it to me. That's a pretty memorable moment, right? I printed out the chat convo and put it in the carved wooden box Grandma and Grandpa brought back from their trip to Canada. This is so sad. The memory box where I keep my treasures, things that remind me of important events or special moments that make me happy. There aren't many things inside it. I bet Christian isn't letting his grades slip. He's super smart as well as hot. He's taking 4 AP classes this year. I can't even imagine. I don't want him to think I'm not smart enough for him. It's bad enough wondering if I'm pretty enough every time I look at his profile picture. I wonder whether I'm enough for him, period, all the time. I know he doesn't spend as much time worrying about me. You know nothing, Lara. You know nothing. I asked him once why there were so few spots on his Facebook wall, posts on his Facebook wall, and he said he's so busy with APs that he really only ever logs in to talk to me. Girl. That's no. Don't. Nobody says that. Nobody does that. Don't do that. Don't listen. They don't mean it. It's not real. It's a lie. He just doesn't have the time to keep up with everyone else's posts. If only I were that focused. But he still hasn't asked me to his dance, even though he's been hinting at it for weeks. That's another thing that's been driving me crazy, and if I'm honest, affecting my schoolwork. I've been spending a lot of my time on the computer either chatting to Christian or searching for dresses instead of doing what I should be doing. And Sid is being such a pain, always bugging me to get off because she thinks her homework is more important than mine, even though she's only in middle school and I'm in high school. I don't understand why Christian doesn't just come out and ask me. If he can say he loves me, then asking me to the dance should be no-brainer, right? Why does he keep stringing me along? It's so frustrating. Not to mention crazy making. I just want to know for certain so I can pick my dress, get some shoes, figure out how to wear my hair and all that stuff. And also because then I'll finally get to meet Christian in real life. The thought of walking into the dance with him, dancing to some slow song, being in his arms, knowing that all the other girls are wishing that they were me. My daydream is interrupted by a text from Ashley. Don't forget to wear uniform to school tomorrow. Oh, shoot, I forgot. I have to go throw my cheerleading uniform in the wash. I'll wait till later because Sid's going to want the computer. Plink, Facebook chat window. It's him. Hey, babe, how's it going? Pretty good. Can't chat much. Too much homework. Gotta catch up. Sad face. Homework more exciting than me? Trust me, I'd so much rather talk to you than do math. But I have to keep my grades up or the rents will freak. Yeah, I know. My dad is always on my case about grades. It's more mom with me, dad too, but mom's much worse. Anyway, better go. Wait, quick question before you go. Tell me, who's your best friend? Red flag number 509. I don't want to admit it that I haven't got a real best friend anymore, not since Bree. I mean, I've made other friends, sure, like Julissa and Ashley, but I don't know if I'll ever be as good of friends with anyone as I was with Bree, telling them everything all the time. Maybe it's because I'm getting older, or maybe just wiser. I couldn't understand how she could just dump me when we got into high school, after we'd been besties for so long. Still, Christian's not going to know if I lie, at least not till we actually meet. So whatever, I figure, this girl Ashley, we're on the squad together, she's awesome. I really need to get going on my math homework, but I see he's typing. What were you like in middle school? Bye, traffic cone. Is he serious? Didn't I just say I had all this work to do and don't have time to chat? Besides, if there's anything in the world I'd rather do less than math homework, it's talk about middle school. I really have to do homework. I type, come on, baby, please tell me a little something and then you can go. I really want to get to know you better. I want to go, but I can't. Maybe if I tell him something, he'll finally ask me to the dance. But middle school? Ugh. I don't really like to think about middle school, much less talk about it. Why not? Oh, you know, bad hair, bad clothes, whatever. I've moved on. What about friends? That's the part I want to talk about the least. He's picking a scab on a wound that's only recently healed. If it even has healed all the way. Why the sudden inquisition? In middle school, I was best friends with this girl, Bree. There, satisfied? What happened? I'll tell him this one last thing and then I'm signing off to do my homework. I don't know. She just kind of dumped me when we got to high school. Like all of a sudden she didn't want to know me anymore. And now I hesitate, wondering if I should tell him about Bree. She's one of his Facebook friends. I wonder how well they'll know each other. Now what? Go on, tell me. Now she's acting like a total brat, like when I made cheerleading and she didn't. She gave me a death glare. Seriously, if looks could kill, I'd be dead. Why can't she just be happy for me? After all this time, I paused in the middle of typing this last thought because I was about to write getting my life together, but that would tell him that my life in middle school had fallen apart, and I don't want him to know that. I'm trying to figure out what to say next when he types, well, I guess I better go do your homework later, and he goes offline. What? He could see I was in the middle of typing something to him, and he didn't sign off with anything like, love you. Not even later, baby, just later. Like I'd said something to offend him. Because you did, because it's not a guy. It's Bree. I have to catch up on my homework and get my cheerleading outfit in the wash, not spend the rest of the night worrying about why he quit our chat so suddenly and went offline. Like I'm actually going to be able to do that easily now. Uh-oh. Bree. We're on the last 2 chapters. When I log out of Christian DeWitt's profile, I'm fuming. So I'm being a total brat, am I? Maybe Lara Kelly should look in the mirror. I'm not the one who was a total porker in middle school. I'm not the one who was so psycho I had to see a shrink. And to top it all off, Laura expects me to be happy for her? Wow, that girl is totally delusional. I print the chat out and put it in my backpack to show Marcy tomorrow in school. I'm going to talk it through with her, but I'm pretty sure I already know what I'm going to do. It's time to bring this prank to end with and finally give Laura the lesson she deserves. I'm tired of chattering with this girl every night. Bye, Macho Man. That's why I stopped being friends with her in the first place, because I was sick of listening to her whine about her miserable life. Another reason I'm ready to end this, because now that Mom knows she's keeping all these little suggestions about how I can flirt with Laura better, which is weird and freaks me out on way too many levels to count. Last night, after I broke off the chat with Laura, she came into my room and wanted me to start it up again so she could be Christian for a while and have a little fun. I was like, are you insane? Mom got mad and told me to show her some respect, which just pissed me off even more. Seriously, this was my thing and now Mom's trying to take it over. Story of my life. Sighing, I look out of the bedroom window and notice a light flickering in the window of the old tree fort. Who would be in there? I haven't been up there in like forever. It reminds me too much of Lara. I wonder if all those posters of bands we liked in middle school are still on the walls, and if the book of secret passwords and rules we used to keep Liam and Sydney out is still hidden under the remnant of carpet that Mom got from one of her clients after they moved out of their new house. I just hope it's not some crazy axe murderer or stinky hobo or something living up there. That would suck. I better make sure to close my curtains from now on. I don't want to give some random tree fort freak an eyeful. The next morning before school, I pull Marcy aside and show her the chat combo printout. Jenny tries to horn in on our conversation, but Marcy says, "Do you mind? This is private." And Jenny huffs away. I can't help feeling good about that. Jenny always trying to make out like Marcy's her best friend. And I'm this unwanted Klingon. Wow, Marcy says after she reads the chat, I can't believe you didn't let her have it then and there. Well, they say revenge is a dish best served cold, right? I tell her. So, are you going to dump her tonight? Marcy asks. After school, I say, I'm going to do it publicly on her Facebook wall so everyone can see. I can't wait, Marcy says, grinning. It's going to be so epic. Don't tell anyone, I remind her. Top secret, she says, pretending to button her lips shut. My lips are sealed. Text me when it's done. Promise? Yeah, I promise. As I walk to the cafeteria at lunchtime, I pass Laura in the hallway. She's wearing her cheerleading uniform and she's with Ashley, her new BFF, and some other cheerleaders. She doesn't even acknowledge I'm alive. I don't care because I know what's going to happen to her later today and she doesn't. So I let her giggle with Ashley and the rest of her stupid cheerleader friends, all their ponytails bobbing as they laugh with their matching purple and gold ribbons like a bunch of horses' butts on a merry-go-round. My classes after lunch drag even more than usual now that I've made the decision to break up with Laura, or that Christian is going to break up with her. I want to get it over with, not just think about it, do it. Everything has been leading up to this. The fake account, the fake flirting, it's all been set up for what's going down later today. Deep down, I wonder if Laura has any clue that Christian isn't who he says he is. Deep down, I wonder if she has an idea that he is really me. No way. I've covered my tracks pretty well. The only people who know are Marcy and Mom. Marcy is totally for it, and strangely, so is Mom. It's all good. As anxious as I was to get over with all afternoon in school, when I get home, I find myself hesitating. Once I do it, I can't go back to pretending I'm him anymore. Once I do it, I lose that power. This will really be the end. So I make myself a snack, Nutella on toast with a glass of milk, and watch a few episodes of a reality show about crazy stage moms. Why do you even watch the show? Liam asks, coming into the family room, chomping on an apple. Those people are seriously messed up. In my head, I hear Mom arguing me to log back into chat with Lara so she can pretend to be Christian again. You think? They're no more screwed up than our parents. Trust me. Liam stares at me, goggle-eyed, his mouth hanging open, filled with unchewed apple. It's gross, like looking at a train wreck in a tunnel. No way, Mom and Dad are like those crazies, he says. Can you at least finish chewing before you talk so I don't have to look at your food debris? He swallows. Okay, fine, but I'm serious. I wouldn't want to be one of those stage kids. No way. I would, even with an ambitious, pressuring stage mom. Because I already have a pressuring mom, but at least then she'd be pressuring me to do what I want instead of what she wants me to do. Too bad, Mom. I failed too. Guess we're both losers, huh? I wonder if my failure is going to give me grit so I'll be more like Mom. But is that what I really want? Dad's the one who's always understood me more, or at least he's the one who tries. I switch off the TV and get up off the sofa. Don't worry, I tell Liam, you're not talented enough to be on stage anyway. He nabs the sofa and the remote and turns on some geeky science show that's just an excuse to blow things up and call it an experiment. I've caught a few episodes when I haven't had anything better to do, and the explosions are pretty cool, especially in slow motion. Showtime, I figure as I walk upstairs. Time for Christian to teach Lara a lesson. Time for the final curtain in the Christian and Lara show. I log into Facebook as Christian goes to Laura's wall. I type. Look it over once and add one more thing. My finger hesitates over the mouse button for a moment, take a deep breath, and click post. Then I log out, log back in as myself, and wait for the fun to start. Bad stuff. Okay. If you hold the mirrored door of the medicine cabinet. Okay, before we get into this is the last chapter. This is the tough chapter. This is where Lara actually she actually tries to commit suicide in this chapter. So it is a little tough. It's a little warning for everybody because it's a short one, but it's a lot. Okay. If you hold the mirrored door of the medicine cabinet toward the bathroom mirror, there are hundreds of versions of you, like clones, created in a secret lab by white-coated scientists. The first time I did it, I thought it was so cool, an infinite tunnel of possible Laras. But now my hand trembles on the mirror as I watch a tear ice its way down all of my cheeks. I guess you could say each one of those faces is either the Lara I once was, the Lara I am now, or that I would be in the future if I had one. I don't. Christian just messaged me that the world would be a better place without me in it. He's right. I wish I knew what I did to make him change his mind about me so suddenly without any warning. One minute I think he's about to ask me to his school dance. The next, he's posting on my wall that I'm an awful person and a terrible friend, that he would never consider being seen with a loser like me at his school dance. He didn't even know me in middle school before Mom took me to the nutritionist and the shrink, and I lost 30 pounds. Why? What did I do? I just want to understand. I need to understand. If I had only understood, then I could change. I could be a different Lara, a nicer Lara, a better Lara, a Lara that people didn't like one minute and then hate the next. A Lara that didn't make friends then lose them. But it doesn't matter now, I guess. This way is better for everyone. Mom will freak out if I make a mess. So I take all the pill bottles and line them up on the edge of the bathtub neatly, like soldiers. I've got Mom's sleeping pills, the one she pretends she doesn't take and hides in her bedside table under the latest copy of Vanity Fair, the painkillers Dad has for when his back plays up, and the acetaminophen with codeine from when I had my wisdom teeth removed over the summer. I grab the plastic cup that holds my toothbrush and bring it with me as I stand by the bathtub, trying to decide if I should get undressed or be fully clothed. I don't want to be naked when they find me dead. That would add insult to injury. Having policemen take pictures of me and making comments about how I could lose a few pounds and stuff. In the end, I stripped down to my underwear and t-shirt. Making the Lake Hills High varsity cheerleading squad is probably the most awesome thing I've ever accomplished in my life. It made me feel like I'd finally turned the corner from my miserable to happy. That didn't last long. I settle myself in the bathtub and turn on the water. I thought about doing this in the bedroom, but locking my bedroom door is too out of the norm. This way, it's less obvious. It feels weird when the water starts to soak into my underwear and t-shirt, and I wonder if I should have just laid on the bathroom floor and pretended to be in the bath. But once I get used to it, the water is warm and comforting. Anyway, wearing clothes in the bathtub isn't half as weird as thinking that in less than an hour, I think, because I don't know how long this is actually going to take. It's not going to matter. Nothing will. I won't be here anymore. No more pain. No more feelings. No more anything. No more me. Fill up the glass from the faucet. Open the first bottle. Don't even bother to look at what it is. It doesn't matter anyway. Just pour the pills into my shaking palm. Put as many into my mouth as I can think I can swallow and wash them down. Rinse and repeat and repeat and repeat and keep on repeating. Turn off the water when I start to feel dizzy because I don't want to drown. I just want to die. The end of part 2 of Backlash. And as you can see from the subtitle to part 3, we are going back to the original start of the book, which is, of course, when Lara survives this attempt at suicide and is able to find out that Christian was not real. She doesn't know that Christian is Bree yet, but I imagine that part 3, these two things are now going to meet, and we are going to see what happens, right, between Lara and Bree, and potentially Bree's mom. Oh my gosh, Bree's mom, literally. Why is this not working? There we go. Bree's mom, like being one of the perpetrators. Like, that's pretty huge. And like encouraging her daughter. That's got to be the worst thing. That's got to be the worst thing, is Bree's mom like being happy about it. And to think on top of that, in the beginning part, when she and Bree are like having that conversation about Lara almost killing herself, and then her mom's like, "Oh, well, that's just how she is." Girl, like, you really? Like, you were a part of this reason why she killed herself. Like, why she tried to kill herself. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Part 3 will be very interesting. We will get there when we get there. Thank you so much for watching today, and chilling with us while we finish up the second part of Backlash. It's an intense ride, but you know, a really important lesson, something that we all need to remember, is that everyone has their own battles that they're fighting. Everyone is dealing with their own stuff. And that, yeah, like, we just got to understand that. Like, you know, it's not always about us. People aren't always laughing at us. People aren't always making fun of us. Sometimes they are, but honestly, you know, everyone's got their own thing, right? Everyone's got their own thing that they're dealing with. They judge other people to like shift the judgment from them, you know? Bree does it, Marcy does it, her mom does it. Even Laura's mom sometimes does it. So like, you know, everyone's, the only time that when that's happening, when people are judging you and like making fun of you and like trying to like say you're doing something, they're trying to push the judgment off from themselves, right? They're something insecure that they don't want people to see or to think about or to know. And that's the biggest lesson we have to take away. We can't just we can't take those words too harshly when people are mean to us. We really can't. Okay. I hope you have your book. I hope you were reading, and I hope you had a wonderful night. I certainly did. I've got to head off because it's really late, and I'm sure it is for all of you too. So enjoy yourselves. Enjoy your evening. Enjoy your night. Have a great one, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.